I
You
really
know.
need to knock up a proper Cosmic Council intro, don't I? So we've got a new guy with us today. Well, he's not new because you've been before, haven't you, Rudy?
Certainly have.
Yeah, it's nice. It's certainly nice to have you back. So it's me, Andy's with us, and Rudy. Are we? I never thought to check out whether or not we're actually going live. Let's have a look. We should be.
It says we're live.
Yeah.
Come on.
Apparently, Excelsior's domain is also streaming right now.
It's a kind of magic.
I only found out today that this is our 1 year anniversary episode.
Amazing, I'm the guest.
Excuse me. You found out today.
Yeah,
I think
because
you're
you
fine.
told me.
I prompted you.
You
Is it?
told
I said,
me.
is it?
I found out via you.
But the funny thing was, it was only because I said to Ed on the weekend or near the weekend. I said, "Is it? Are we doing this about a year?" And it was like, then you said, "Yeah, exactly a year, actually." And I literally hadn't looked myself, so I just thought,
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Oh, we've got people. El Hubbo, what's good, peeps? Everything.
everything.
Hello, Patrick. I saw someone very like you today. I won't tell everyone what you bought, though. Shh.
Bam,
We'll do our best. We'll do our best. You should be on here with us, Mark.
This is the voice of the Mr.
Embler Far Bouty. You've changed your name.
Yes, I've seen them before.
Mr. Nipples is here. He's obviously a friend of yours as well, Rudy.
Yes. We've conversed. We've been toy hunting together, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he came down to Portsmouth, and we went to Vintage Toy Monster and Smiths and a few other haunts.
Excellent.
Cool.
Hello, Benjamin. The new guy. Good evening, Andy. Gareth, Andy, and the new guy.
Technically not that new. I've been on before.
He has been on once before. I think Ben actually might be more of a recent viewer than that, to be fair. Hi, Mario. It's me, Mario. He said, okay, he's giving you a clue there as to what he bought today. Hello, Dale. How are you doing, sir? And yes, I have. You have changed your name. Yes. That's unusual. Normally, it's a lot busier than that with people saying hello. We know you can hear us, Earthmen. That's the Captain Scarlet thing, isn't it?
Yes. It's the Mr-Ons. Yes.
Yeah. I've not done Captain Scarlet, so I can't really comment.
Which is amusing because just above your head is a Mr-On. And to the right. Yeah.
I was actually watching some a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, right.
Like I subscribed to the Jerry Anderson YouTube channel.
Oh, yes.
They do live streams every once in a while, and they just put random episodes on. It's quite a cool evening. You'll have 2 Terrorhawks, and then a documentary, and then a Captain Scarlet. Yeah, really cool.
Never got into it. I definitely saw a few episodes, but I never quite got into it.
I always feel like the intro and the end credits is probably better than the show. And I think
remember him having some funny faces.
Yeah,
it's like when he's just been shot, he's like he's like, and then he's back to normal again. It's kind of weird.
It's always hard to when I think there's better ones out there. I think I came to Scarlet a bit later after Thunderbirds. I was a bit older. Nothing compares to Starfleet, obviously, so that's going to be always my base of comparison. So yeah, it is good.
So, since you're still relatively new to us, Rudy, do you want to introduce yourself to the audience that may not be aware of who you are?
Well, that would be lovely. So I am a mid-40s, highly obsessed toy collector and vlogger. I have a YouTube channel, which I started, I would say 5 years ago. I find it tricky to do videos now, just because I haven't got the time. I have 3 children, a full-time job. I don't have a permanent setup like I used to when I first started. A lot of my stuff's in storage. It needs to be because of little hands that like to be interested in and some of the stuff I have is quite delicate. Like some of my vintage stuff, and then I've kind of got high end stuff that I don't even want to touch. And then I do videos all about nostalgia and emotional connection to toys and what I've bought lately, the reasons why, and I just nerd out every video.
Yeah, sounds familiar.
I think we can all relate.
Yeah, that's largely what my channel is.
In terms of the way that I collect, I'm super eclectic, and I never really go in for full waves of anything. I'll literally buy my favorite character, or I'll get two from a toy line, two of my favorite characters, or a character that I've kind of grown up with, or I didn't have a toy version of it as a kid, so as an adult collector, I've bought the best version I can of a character that I like. The last couple of years, because I'm like 45, I didn't really experience 90s toys in that way, because I got to 12, 13 and I wasn't as interested in toys. I don't want to use the thing, oh, it's too old for toys. You're never too old for toys. But at that point in your life, the way hormonally you are, you say, I don't want to have toys anymore. I loved looking in the Argos and Index catalogue at toys, but I never purchased anything, obviously.
Do you think a lot of it's down to peer pressure at the time?
Oh, I think so. And getting into other stuff, like I moved into like Warhammer and BMXing and skateboarding, and actually
so you moved into little toys.
Yes.
Well, I just moved into virtual toys. I think I just went Amiga and PC at some point and moved away from toys because of that. I was still playing. I just wasn't playing in the same way. That was all. So, I mean, I'm very, very like you just described, Rudy. I bounce about. I get stuff that I used to have or would have liked to have had but didn't have at the time, and then I find other rabbit holes to vanish down. You know, so yeah, very much of similar approach, I think, from the sounds of it.
So, like, I've been picking up toys inspired by the 90s because I didn't have them. But yeah, I was always watching the cartoons. I've never stopped watching cartoons. So like, I always wanted to get a Toxie. I always wanted to kind of get either Biker Mice from Mars or something that I just did not have toys for, but probably would have if I was a little bit younger or in a different frame of mind. You don't play with toys when you're 12. You just don't. It's a sad fact of life.
I'm not sure I remember the one thing that did break my toy pause was that I started watching Beast Wars, and I did pick up a little Waspinator at that point, but he was the exception to the rule, I think, at that stage, definitely.
I didn't start the character.
I didn't start again until '96 when Shadows of the Empire came out, and I started buying Power of the Force 2 toys. And then I dipped back into Transformers, and I went to Tower Records in Southampton, and I didn't have enough money for an Akira bike. And I was just like, okay, I'm in this I'm going to save up now. And then that was it.
Very cool.
I became a toy collector.
The Akira bike really is something, it's eye candy, isn't it?
Yeah, I just couldn't believe it. Like, I always thought Tower Records was a place to go and buy music, but the downstairs in the Southampton one was collectibles. This is in like 98, 99.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And it was just wall to floor with collectibles.
Yeah. I've had comic books in the past which have been Tower Record exclusives.
It's interesting though, isn't it, that when that bleed through started to happen, because I certainly went in places like Forbidden Planet for the first time and discovered the concept of collectibles through going somewhere like that, not in search of collectibles, but in search of comics more so, you know. But then, of course, you know, they were all starting to diversify, I guess, in the sort of, you know, mid-90s-esque. They were all starting to dabble in having other things. Sean's being selective.
Indeed.
Yeah, he loves every version of Transformers except the Michael Bay ones. They do?
Yeah.
HMV do stock quite a lot now.
But a lot of random places do that you wouldn't necessarily think of, don't they? I mean, it's kind of it definitely has expanded because I think that some of it must come from the fact that the kids are now way more into their video games than they ever were at our ages back in the day. So now they're actually aiming the collectibles at the older parents who are going around the supermarkets.
Us.
You know, yes, exactly. So we are now those with deep pockets who can spend on higher priced, in inverted commas, toys, you know, rather than the kids, because the kids aren't that fussed. The kids might get Lego up until the point, maybe. But I do kind of wonder what kids are buying these days, because my son got out of toys pretty rapidly. He never really clicked with anything particularly. You know, Lego, yes, to some extent. He went through a Power Rangers phase, actually. But that was largely it for him.
So the two that aren't Michael Bay, then. there's a certainly a connection there, isn't there? There's yeah. In HMV today, it was total crap, was it? Okay. Ben says,
I haven't been at HMV for a while. I used to work at HMV.
Yeah.
Many years ago. There was not collectibles then. You could get graphic novels though. I got the whole picture set really cheap because of staff discount. It was when it was HMV and Waterstones were pretty much the same company. So you could order like their back catalogue. Waterstones, you could order their back catalogue.
I used to get graphic novels from Waterstones, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Not many places you could get them easily.
I picked up various graphic novels on the cheap.
Well, I used to get T-shirts and posters from HMV.
Standard.
They would do stuff that was in my, you know, sort of what I was after. But again, one of the few places that was available everywhere, because where I lived, there was nothing. You could not get a comic specialist store near me for love nor money. So it was only on the very, very rare occasions when I went somewhere bigger that I had any chance of finding something.
But you never had problem getting sheep and Velcro gloves, did you?
I couldn't possibly comment. I don't want to reinforce any racial stereotypes on this channel.
Wales is now a race.
Well, it's something.
It certainly is.
They're just more special than everyone else. What can I say? You know.
WH Smith is selling Prime. Oh, you mean the drink? Well, they have a confectionery and I'll say confectionery centre, don't they? Section.
I don't think Smiths know what they are anymore.
They've completely lost their identity, haven't they?
To go, if we go nostalgia, that was one of the best places in like 1985, 86 to buy toys. WH Smiths.
Really?
Yeah, in Wolverhampton, where I grew up, that was like the best place to get toys. Like I bought various mask toys there because they were like £5. I won an art competition in my school, and it was a £5 like token from WH Smith to encourage you to get new stationery or a book. No, I obviously went and bought Condor.
As you do. As you do.
Absolutely.
I hope I enjoy Saturday. Yeah, if anyone's watching and hasn't noticed on our social media for the shop, it will be closed on Saturday as it's my daughter's birthday on Sunday and we're taking them out. I'm not going to say where in case they're listening. We're taking them off for the weekend. So, yeah, the shop will be closed this Saturday. Apologies for any inconvenience caused.
Cool.
Tower Records in Bargate, West Keys or Maitland?
West Key, when West Key first opened.
There you go.
I haven't heard the word Bargate for a while. I don't think Bargate exists anymore, I think.
Not one person in there. What, WH Smiths or HMV?
Wow.
Woolworths, yes.
I'm surprised HMV has survived, actually. I mean, I think it was close at one point, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was. Yeah. They reinvested in the right product, obviously.
Yeah, Toys for Us.
People like physical media.
Yeah.
Even though, you know, the digital downloading is obviously the way forward, people want physical media still.
Yeah.
Take care, Sean. Yeah, it's weird how big vinyl records have come back and how much I think they've saved HMV, which is so ironic when you consider that HMV started off by recording them.
And it was the bulldog and the gramophone, isn't it?
That's right, yeah. That's right. Woolies was always his go-to.
Yeah. Woolies would have been me, I think, where I was. I'm struggling to remember if I bought any toys from Smiths, but Woolworths was big where I was, so that was definitely my go.
Like, it might have even been 2 floors, or it was like a mezzanine.
But what I did get from Smiths,
wow,
was
times must have changed. If Woolies was too expensive, but WH Smiths was where everyone was buying their toys from, times really have changed.
Yeah. but I used to troop up every couple of weeks without fail to the top floor of Smiths, which is a very, very small area that sold videotapes. And then I would collect my Star Trek The Next Generation videotape, which was like my big splurge with my pocket money that I saved because I didn't have Sky at my house. So I used to so the ladies knew me quite well on the Smiths video counters. They sort of smiled as soon as I arrived and started reaching for the tape that had been pre-ordered, because they knew what I wanted. So it's funny.
Everybody did. Even if you didn't have an Argos in your town, you would go out of your way to an Argos to get a catalogue just so you could sit there looking at it. And you
in
the household had an Argos.
I lived in a cul-de-sac, and in a little private driveway at the end of that cul-de-sac, 4 houses, and we were all 2.4 families. We had the Freeman's catalogue. Next door had the Kay's catalogue, and I think 2 doors down had like Gratin. And their mums would swap all over and order stuff. But yeah, when the autumn-winter catalogue came from those, the toys at the back, some of the best pages I've ever seen, all on beautiful dioramas, rock cliffs, Transformers and GoBots. And
did nobody have the Empire Stars catalogue?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I seem to remember my mum having that one.
Do you remember
I haven't thought about that for years.
Yeah.
Did you have? I think I got the Innovations catalogue. Was that what it was called?
God, I've not heard of that one. You'll have to describe it.
It had.
I think Google it.
It was quite small. It was quite small, but it had like sort of like almost like science museum type toys in it. Do you know what I mean? What are you laughing at, Gareth?
I'm laughing at Mark.
Honestly, Mark.
Yeah. What are you looking at? Holdalls. I don't need backpacks.
I wonder if I can find a picture of one.
What, of a nipple?
No, an Innovations catalogue.
Those online.
If you're just joining us,
if you really want to see one,
don't demonetize.
I am. I'm not monetized. I've started allowing theme tunes and music into my videos now because, well, I'm not monetized anyway. So
maybe it's not what. That's not what it's called.
Who remembers Toys R Us? We're not all as young as you, Robert, so we all remember Toys R Us.
Everyone remembers Toys R Us.
I didn't actually go to Toys R Us until 2001.
Oh, really?
I just typed in Innovations R Us then. Thanks for that.
There wasn't one around me
until
I moved down south. I used to go to a place called Jolly Giant.
Jolly
which
Giant.
now was a bit more northern, a bit more Midlands and northern.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my Toys R Us. Again, incredible store.
Yeah, it was amazing. I was only about to go there just before Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An aisle just for Lego, an aisle just for like Transformers, an aisle for action figures, which were mostly just like turtles and.
Yeah.
And they were immense. We're talking about warehouses here.
Oh yeah. Bikes, like just everything you could get. Extra monorail, space track.
Uncle Arthur's toy shop in Sheffield.
I don't think what I'm thinking of is the Innovations catalogue, unless these pictures are too recent. I'm gonna have to hunt it down. What I'm thinking of now, aren't I? I'll do that another time.
What was in this catalogue? Toys and.
It was just.
building.
It was toys to encourage the brain, which I think probably justified it to my dad. I'd imagine, because he was always trying to get me stuff that was kind of mind expanding rather than just sort of tat, basically. So I think that's what he was going for. I think he wanted to try and get a catalogue that was sort of what would you call them these days?
So did he go on to be disappointed then? Of course, I am joking.
Of course.
Out of the two of us, there's me that works for myself. Yeah, that was a really clever idea, wasn't it? And then we've got a lawyer.
To be honest, I wouldn't mind a job swap every now and again. It's not all.
Somehow, I don't think I'm qualified to do that for you.
You'd be surprised. You can bluff it. It's fine.
The massive toy shop too. Duncan's toy shed. Okay.
Duncan's toy shed.
BT's, yeah.
Yeah, BT's.
Get your RC, get your radio control cars, get your Tamiya.
Yeah.
Best place to get that.
See, I think they were gone before my time came up.
And see, department stores like Debenhams used to have quite a good toy department. And others would often have really good toy departments. I mean, even John Lewis, actually. I wandered in there. I mean, it's a while ago now, but I wasn't kind of trying to go there. But I think I probably had my lad with me, so we ended up. And they had like Lego exclusives and stuff, and it was it didn't really occur to me that they would have a Lego bit.
Yes.
Yeah, they're actually sat side by side now.
Yeah, maybe go that way. Asda, Asda. I mean, Asda still probably do have quite a big toy section, actually. Again, not one I tend to go to locally, but
yeah, you can get those they're 5, even like 4 POA Marvel action figures, 3 3/4. You could always get those in Asda last couple of years. £8.
Yes, yeah. They seem to.
And you go to the local toy store for 20.
They seem to have stopped with those now. Are they still doing the near you?
Sorry, say that again, Joe.
The Asda's around here, they seem to have stopped doing those 5 POA Marvel figures now. Are they still doing them where you are?
The last time I saw them, I saw a Firestar in HMV, but it was really expensive. And I was just like, I think it was like £15. And I'm like, I bought 2 of these for like £15 about a year ago.
Yeah.
Tell you where you have.
They don't make them anymore.
Yeah, they've definitely replaced Toys R Us. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, Smith's is huge. I mean, their Lego stock is incredible.
Ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's ridiculously good.
The White Rose shopping centre is in such a very sad and sorry state at the moment.
Yeah, I saw a video of yours the other day, Mark. I think Mark's video the other day, it looked like it was being totally decimated. It's like there's nothing left. It's crazy.
Such a shame.
Yeah. Such a shame. And so much parking and stuff there as well. It's actually vaguely useful in that sense. In fact, I remember I've got a very fond memory of my lad battling a guy wearing an Ninjago figure outfit, proper sort of fully padded sort of rubber thing, with an Ninjago sword, and he was beating the stuffing out of this poor bloke, and he was associated with the entertainer that was there. Now I don't know if the entertainer's still there, but I used to frequent an entertainer in Bradford. I can't remember if that one's still there either. Does anyone know how the entertainer is doing as a business?
I think it must still be doing okay because they still haven't resorted to opening Sundays.
No.
And I would have thought by now they would have done.
Yeah, maybe.
The owner of the business is deeply religious, isn't he? And he views it as the day of the Sabbath, so refuses to allow any of his businesses to open on that day. I did think times would have changed him. I actually think it's nice that they haven't.
Yeah, well, there's a website for that anyway, isn't there? I mean, if you want to shop on a Sunday, go on the website. I mean, simples. It's not, I guess it probably saves them wages and stuff as well, doesn't it? So that makes a certain amount of sense.
Yeah, and energy, profit and loss, EBITDA. Your bottom line.
Like Rose and Wakefield. Yeah, the Entertainer. Yeah,
Ah.
I went into the Wakefield one just the other day actually. So, it wasn't Sunday. It was Bank Holiday Monday.
I've always quite liked their range. I mean, when Go was a thing, they carried the little die-cast Tomica Thunderbirds,
Nice.
which I quite liked. I don't think many places did. So they've obviously make some quite careful buying decisions. So yeah.
Joe's here. Hello, Joe.
Hello, Joe.
So
What was I thinking of?
I'm going to take a little bit of a segue, but I'm going to use what we've been talking about to move into it. So the name of today's episode was "What's your favourite?" or "Who's your favourite?" or something like that.
Yes.
So, what's your favourite toy shop that's no longer with us?
Ooh. Was Toy and Hobby a thing?
If it was, I've not heard of it.
So there's a place called the Manda Centre in Wolverhampton, where I grew up. They used to have a place called Zodiac Toys, and it was like it was a small little. I figure it was independent, but I really have fond memories of like the good stuff being up high. So you'd find the Gorilla Zoid, that was always up high. That was £100. But they priced everything upwards. So like all the bottom prongs would be like £5, or like say like the combiner limbs for Transformers, all £4.95, and then you go up to the middle part, which would be like maybe £20 for a GI Joe vehicle, and then the top shelves would be the £100 Zoids. I loved that shop, Zodiac Toys.
I see Toy Master's just been mentioned in the chat, but Toy Master does still live on.
It does still exist as Toy Master. Yes.
There's one in Halifax.
Yeah, they are all franchised though.
Yeah.
They are, aren't they?
Our local ones are long gone, sadly.
Is Toy Master two companies as well? Is the Toy Master and does it have a guise of somewhere else?
Possibly. If it has, I'm not aware of it, but possibly.
Have I made that up?
Mark said, sorry, not Mark. Andy's having a look now.
I'm having a look for Toy and Hobby actually. Oh, do you remember the toy retailer Toy and Hobby with a red and yellow logo? Yeah.
Oh, Mark, that's not nice.
So I think it's like
I said a toy shop that's no longer with us.
Ooh.
Yeah,
You
Brooks
didn't hear that
Collectibles
bit.
is still trading.
Like one that isn't trading.
Do you know why I said a toy shop that's no longer with us? So that nobody would feel obliged to say Cosmic Toys.
I just thought you were going for the nostalgia hit. That was all.
Well, there's definitely that. But no, I thought I don't want anyone thinking, well, I've got to say Cosmic Toys because it's Gareth Stream. No.
Mr. McGoyam's Wonder Emporium. Yes.
Hello, Gwaz. Not like it's used. Brooks Collectibles is not like it used to be. Well, nothing is.
Dear.
I do hope that Mark, the owner of Brooks Collectibles, is not watching this right now. You won't be friends any longer.
What's that? He gets freebies from there, doesn't he?
Mine was besties. Do you mean BTs?
BTs, possibly.
I think you mean BTs.
You see, I know the name BTs, and I can almost picture the logo, but I have no idea why I remember it or what I used to get from them.
I think it was not before my time.
I don't know.
When somebody says BTs, I have two. There was BTs, which was a blue and yellow logo, and it sold like just toys.
Yeah.
There was also a department store called BTs, owned by JM Beatty, and it was this 1920s Art Deco 4-story department store. Upstairs, like the top was like an Art Deco 1920s cafe. Bottom, the basement, was the toy department. But it had like glass cabinets with the expensive Scalextric and Hornby stuff in it. It would have an aisle of board games. It would have a playable NES. It would have like a table with a diorama of the latest best-selling toy. You had to walk through the porcelain section to get to it. Why on earth they thought that would be a good plan with a
brilliant
4-year-old on Ribena, waiting to get the toys.
But then the parents got to pay for the breakages. Nah,
Ribena and Blue Smarties.
Yeah, Beatty's in Wolverhampton on Queen Street. Yeah, like one of the most amazing department stores and one of the best toy departments I've ever seen.
Oh, is it Toyland, not Toy Master, or is Toyland the Toy Master? Now I'm confused. Perhaps I've got that wrong.
Yeah, Toyland is a different company, I believe.
Perhaps I've got
I'm
that
not
wrong.
sure if they're a franchise like Toy Master or whether or not it is a brand.
Unless they've shifted, they did move. They moved stores. So I wonder if they became something different when they moved. I wonder. Toyland.
So what's the answer then? What are we going? And I do hope that people are playing along as well in the chat.
They are. They are.
So are we going with Beatties then? And did you say Zodiac toys? Zodiac collectibles?
Do you know what? I'm going to give it to Jolly Giant.
Oh,
I
Jolly
think that's the best stuff from Jolly Giant.
Okay. Andy?
Well, I definitely remember Toy Masters from my era being particularly good as a toy only specialist store. Definitely.
Okay. I think for me and my era, although I probably did start with Toy Masters, it would have to be Woolworths. Because beyond that, in Dewsbury, we didn't really have much else. So we still, well, we've
always a good selection of Wolves. Got to say fair dues to them.
If you had £5, if you had £5 pocket money, you know, if you had £1 every week and you saved it up until the end of the month and you mowed the lawn, you'd have £5. It was a good place to go and get one toy for £5, whether it's like a small transformer or
I was going to say, because they got a lot of small carded stuff.
Yeah,
that's what they used to go. So you get like penny racers, and you get your figures there, and you like say your sort of your mini bots and all that sort of good stuff was on the shelves hung up, so they could get a lot of it in. Yeah.
That's where I got my Micro Machines drive-through fish and chips Travel City. Again, $4.95.
I made some money out of my local Woolworths.
You made money, sir, out of toys, sir, you say.
Well, yeah. Before I had a toy shop, the local Star Wars toy dealer on the market back when I was 15, 16, it was just as the Phantom Menace was about to drop. And they'd got their first batch of episode 1 figures in. And I'd seen them the night before, but had no money. So I couldn't get any. And I was talking to the chap on the market, and he was like, he had Darth Maul figures priced at £30 each. You know, when they were $7.99.
Wow.
And I said, but they're only $7.99 in Woolworths. Yeah, but they haven't got any, have they? And I went, well, the local ones got 2. No, they haven't. They'll have sold them. And I went, no, they've still got them. I said, they had them last night. He said, I bet you 20 quid that they would still have them. And I went, make it 20 quid and that. And I pointed at the Power of the Force Jedi Spirits. So it came with Obi-Wan, Yoda and Anakin in a box. And I said, make it 20 quid and that. And he went, yeah, all right, whatever. And I went, well, give us the money then. Because I had no money. So I went down to Woolworths, bought the 2 of them, took them back, and I said, right, there you are. I want my 20 quid and I want that.
And you pocketed the 4 quid change as well.
You know that Jedi Spirit set isn't posable?
Yeah, no, it's not.
I didn't realise that when I bought it for one of my best mates.
Yeah. Best
Still looks super cool on the shelf, though, obviously.
Okay. Bring back Woolworths. Is it not coming back?
Somebody's bought the brand, but I don't know what they're going to do with it. I think.
Okay. I
think Mark said that once actually.
It has to be Woolworths, he says.
What are they going to bring it back as? That's not a viable business model.
Yeah, this is it, isn't it? And the selling cap selling pick and mix at those prices nowadays. They need to do cheap pick and mix.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to see a shop like that come back again with their own brands of stuff, like cheaper alternative toys, like what Woolworths used to do. So So it wouldn't be Star Wars, it'd be Space Heroes, and it wouldn't be Transformers, it would be robot cars or something. And it'd be nice to see that again.
Yeah, because it's nice for kids to get affordable stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. They'd compete too much with B&M and what's the other one? Home Bargains, because that's where you go to knock off convertible robot heroes or whatever they're called.
But tell what was interesting though, when it was still here, which of course it isn't anymore. God, I've already forgotten the name of it. What's the name of that sort of general hardware-y type store that used to exist until recently?
Poundland, Pound Stretcher.
No, it's another one that's gone more recently. I quite like them because you can get electricals and stuff in there as well, like soft furnishings and all sorts.
House of Fraser.
Huh?
That was a joke. House of Fraser.
No, it won't come to me. But they used to have funny little knickknacks in their toy sections, and the Range does as well. The Range has got some funny stuff in its toy section.
Or Wilkins.
Yes, Wilkinson. Yeah. Thank you. Yes.
I can't believe we lost Wilco's.
No, I know. It's sad that they were really handy.
Seriously, what on earth were they doing wrong as a company? Because they sold everything.
They did, but maybe that was the problem. Maybe they just had too much stock. You know, possible they weren't shifting enough or whatever.
Everything was invested in stock.
Yeah. Quite likely.
Yeah,
definitely. Evening Viper. Evening.
Viper.
Wilco, Dave got there first, didn't they?
Was missing things done that.
They bought out Micro Machines again. They have done, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay then. So, who's your favourite starship captain
Ooh.
from Star Trek? I will limit it to Star Trek.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah. And then I'll open it up afterwards. This used to be Kirk or Picard, but obviously we're long past that now. There's so many others you can choose.
I'm going Picard.
Picard.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you like to elaborate why?
I like Kirk, but I gravitated way more to the TV show, and I liked that he was English, or French, if you will. I think he just had a really commanding presence, and he was a bit of everything. He was a diplomat, but I was watching an episode yesterday where he punches that guy in the face when he beams onto the bridge after he's kidnapped Beverly.
Yeah, the high ground.
High ground, yeah.
Yeah.
Just literally beams in and he smacks him one in the face, and just like, Picard's so badass, but he can also talk.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to like Picard for many, many reasons. I actually quite like Pike in Strange New Worlds.
Okay.
I think that he's actually quite an interesting one. And obviously he hasn't been on screen that much, but I think he's got a good presence. Very different era. And obviously it's a completely different era, isn't it? But it's not as out there as Discovery. I think it's more Star Trek, normal, if you like, Star Trek. But sort of quite intelligently done. So yeah, I quite like the way he's been handled. I mean, he was in Discovery as well, of course. So he was captain of Discovery for a while, wasn't he? But yeah.
Can I give an honourable mention to Cisco?
Cisco.
Through lockdown, I watched DS9 in its entirety for the first time ever. I only watched it on TV sporadically because I didn't really like it. I was so used to TNG that I just could not get used to it. Watching it as an older adult, DS9 is incredible. I had no idea it was that rich and like in depth.
It matured well. It took a while, but it did mature a lot over time.
Yeah, and it's really stood the test of time. And it's very much, if you want episodic fun adventures, you go TNG. If you want heartfelt story arcs with gravitas, you go DS9.
Eventually.
Yeah, that is the character of Cisco.
Do you not think that's the case with all of the Star Trek series, though? They take a good 2 seasons to find their feet.
Sometimes more.
Sometimes more. I mean,
I think Voyager took longer. I think out of all of them, I
it
also
took-
think until they got 7 of 9, Voyager was a little bit lost.
Yeah, that probably saved the show. It has to be said.
But even Next Generation, sorry, my mind went black then. Even Next Generation took a good couple of series to find its feet.
It did.
Oh yeah,
That first
I mean-
series is hilarious. I never
yeah.
watched series 1. I can't watch series 1. I can only watch the last episode because it's got one of my favourite actors of all time in it.
it's like all the mini skirts and stuff are still sort of.
It's just extra sound effects. It's so it's pure spacey.
Yeah.
It's really ethereal, but I just
No, I was going to throw out.
me.
I was going to say Cisco, but since as you've taken it, I'm going to go
Sorry.
with Archer.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Archer. He was writing the book that all following captains would have to follow. And
Mhm.
I quite like
And
what they did with Enterprise.
And he didn't even have the Prime Directive either, technically.
What the directive now?
Exactly. Yeah, which is interesting. But it's funny because when he his character changes a hell of a lot during the Xindi arc
Yes.
because he becomes a proper dark badass.
Yes, he does.
Over the course of that arc, and it's quite interesting that because you wonder whether or not any next gen character would actually have played that the same way.
Mhm.
But then obviously, you've never really seen Earth clobbered in the way that he felt it was under threat at that point in time. So he obviously felt, well, stuff it, the gloves are off now. I mean, I do have some issues with it as a concept because the poor old NX-01. Remember that battle damage version of it I had the other day, and it's like, how did that not have a warp core breach several times over, given the stuffing it took over with no star bases, no dry docks? I mean, it should have been in bits.
Yeah.
Come on.
With such weak shields.
He's got no stuffing shields. He's only got polarized hull plating.
People have been saying Janeway,
Interesting.
Cisco, Pike, Kirk. I cannot believe that wasn't thrown up there sooner.
Mm.
Picard. Same actor, yes.
Yes.
7 of 9 was captain, but Janeway's. Well, 7 of 9 was captain, wasn't she? In
She is now. She's
Yeah.
got Titan, as was.
Picard, Kirk, Picard, and then Janeway. Very good. Straight to
I think Janeway's great.
Chapters.
I think she's got a handful of great episodes, but for the
Mm.
entirety, she's lower down the choice. for me.
I know. From Huddersfield. No, Murfield. It fell off in season 3. Well, it ended there, didn't it? Oh boy. Enterprise had the best theme music. Yes, I quite agree with you as well. It's the only one you can sing along to.
Is that Russell Watson?
Yes. I did always wonder where the hell that came from. Hello, Gap. It just
Ew.
didn't seem right, but by the time you go through a season of it, it's like, no, this fits. It fits.
Is it still the only Star Trek series that's actually had a vocal introductory tune? Yeah. Funny, isn't it?
Oh, these are all chatting now. There goes the stream. Gap's here. Happy panel. Okay.
Okay.
Well, rest of the panel is Rudy, if you don't already know, Gap. Here he is, look. Here he is. The original and still the best. Well, not according to most of the chat. Someone did ask me a question. Where's it gone? Viper. Gareth, do you know of any good toy shows over the coming weeks or month? Not through May, I don't, but in June we do have Bolton. Avoid it. We've got the first one in Manchester. Please come to it. And
Can't find my leaflet.
Doncaster, so that's always good as Doncaster. I love Doncaster.
When's I need to get to Doncaster again. When's Doncaster?
Look at all the love coming in for Ed now that he's here. Look at Ed.
And I can now confirm that he is not an AI.
I'm just wondering, since he's appeared like that, did someone say anything about a certain microcomputer?
Shockingly, they didn't. No.
Because if you say it 3 times, it just appears.
Like Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice.
I never said hello to nipples before, but hello. Well, I've never said hello to my nipples either, but... So, okay, you've just thrown that up. Who's your favourite Doctor?
Ooh.
I can answer it straight away.
Oh, go on then. Go on.
Lester McCoy.
Oh, I knew someone was going to say that. That's not what I meant.
All-time favourite. Hands down.
You green-blooded goblin.
When I found out that BBC iPlayer had like every Doctor episode.
Oh yeah, I forgot that. Yeah.
Was it like last year?
Oh, sorry, you actually mean Sylvester McCoy?
Yeah.
Right, when you said Dr. McCoy, I assumed you meant McCoy from Star Trek.
Oh no, I knew what he meant. That would have been a bit of a segue. Good grief.
Fair enough. Oh, I said it as well, Dr. McCoy. Right, you meant Sylvester McCoy.
Oh, you meant Doctor as in Star Trek?
I meant favourite Doctor as in Doctor Who. But
Oh,
I
okay.
meant you
No,
take
he's like, who's your favourite Doctor in Star
Who
Trek?
is your favourite Doctor? Which Doctor Who is your favourite?
Oh, so Sylvester McCoy's your favourite.
Yeah, Lester McCoy.
Okay.
The-
Go on then, why? I'm
I
not
think
disagreeing with you.
I was probably at the best age to experience it, mid-80s. I'd kind of seen reruns of like John Pertwee, and I didn't like Colin Davidson. I didn't like Colin Baker. And then Sylvester McCoy came out. I was, I don't know, 6 or 7 maybe. At that point, I was watching, through my brother, loads of Harold Lloyd and Charlie Chaplin. And he was just like that, the way he moved, the way he kind of acted. And I liked his storylines, and I liked the Happiness Patrol. I've always been a big fan of confectionery. And I was just like, that character is really good. I really liked the stories and his
Your
portrayal.
pick and mix for life. That.
And I thought Ace, his companion, was really good. She was kind of relatable for me as a young lad.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of lads actually did relate to her rather than
That rebellious kind of streak.
I know she was a tomboy, wasn't she? She was
Yeah.
a tomboy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, she was a favourite of mine. Was Sophie Aldred. Yeah, I said the name. Yeah, there's my favourite.
I like Pertwee though.
Dr. Harold Shipman.
I would have to say, I mean, as much as I've liked sort of Tennant's run, because he got a lot of stuff to play with. I think like one of my earliest Who memories was Davison.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not quite sure why, but like you were saying, Rudy, I think that's for some reason that was one of the ones that my childhood memory kind of links me to when I think the Doctor. I often think of him.
Do you think
So
it's
that one when he came back with Tennant briefly? I thought that was quite funny. What do you say, Rudy?
I was gonna say, like, someone's favorite Doctor or someone's favorite Batman is through association. I used to go swimming on a Monday night, at like the local grammar school, because my school didn't have a pool, obviously. And then on the way back, my mum would stop off at her best friend's house, and she had a big widescreen television, and I would be plonked in front of it at 7 o'clock, and I could have free reign of the TV. So obviously, I put on BBC Two and watched Doctor Who, and it was always Sylvester McCoy.
Okay.
So I guess that's why, as well as the other reasons I said.
Yeah.
I think it's by association. Your memories are from watching that rubbish Doctor you said, the one with the celery.
Yes. But I also remember the 5 Doctors as well. So I remember some of the specials, and I do remember the earlier film that was always getting repeated with the Daleks and so on as well. So it's like stuff like that was always on at some point. So if you were at all science fiction related and looking for something to watch, the odds are there was some Who somewhere.
I think that's why I like Pertwee a little bit, because it was shown again, I think, when I was an early teenager on a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Or Channel 4, whichever one had kind of bought the rights to play it for a while. So yeah, I think that's why.
If you had UK Gold, if you had Sky UK Gold, you would have seen they were all on there at that time.
Yeah, that early kind of 90s when there was a big boom on retro television in some ways.
Yeah.
TV Zone. Remember that magazine? Got
a big pile of those if you want them, Andy.
Yeah, I wonder why. Almost as if you couldn't shift them.
I'm looking at a comment on the screen here. My first Doctor was John Pertwee, so I've always got a very soft spot for John Pertwee. Of the modern Doctors, my favourite, hands down, is Matt Smith. I just think he's the most doctory Doctor.
Yeah, he had a lot of energy. He had a lot of energy about him, didn't he, Matt Smith? Yeah.
He had that energy, but he also embodied the age of the Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was only 26 when he got the part, but you believed that he had the intelligence of a 1,000-year-old being. There's just something about him.
Do you think Matt Smith pulled in extra fans?
I think David Tennant.
David Tennant did that, and then Matt Smith solidified it.
Yes. Yeah, I think so.
Obviously, Billy Piper brought in a lot.
Yeah.
Extra fans, I think.
Yeah. But my favourite Doctor, it's constantly changing. And it does include Sylvester McCoy sometimes.
I think that's in some ways, you don't have to pick a favourite.
No. They're all
they are all.
After a few years, your perspectives sometimes change, or you invest a bit more time in watching other episodes. So I like them a lot, but I will cherry pick what episodes.
I think if I was to pick my absolute favourite based on how you've based it on who you grew up with, I think for me it would have to be, strangely enough, Paul McGann.
Really? Wow.
His was the current Doctor when I got interested in Doctor Who, and I was there reading the magazine, getting excited for it appearing, for it happening, and I read all the comics after the TV movie. I read all the novelizations that came out of the TV movie. So even though it wasn't him playing it in my head, it was my imagination of how he would have played it. It's that I latch onto.
That's a solid answer. That's incredible.
He's only been in it for 90 minutes, though.
I know. Oh, there's also the fact that I've done a lot of the Big Finish audio novelizations.
Right.
Audio plays. And his was the first time that they actually had a chance to do an ongoing arc. Because every time they did a story before, they had to give it a very definitive beginning, middle, and end so it could squeeze in between episodes. Whereas with him, they could do what they wanted and build something. So I got to experience that as well. And it would be Paul McGann, but not for the reasons that you would think.
No, perfectly valid. I mean, it's really interesting because it is like getting just a glimpse of it, and then everything else is fan created. So it's he can be whoever you want him to be.
Yeah. And so Mark's favorite, apparently. But no, we've got quite a few. We've got John Pertwee. Apparently, Matt Smith was sexy. And I don't see that, but okay.
I thought the TARDIS was sexy.
That's not nice, Mark. Give him a chance. I might not be doing, but you give him a chance. John Hurt. We saw less of him. Or did we?
That was a great episode, though.
Nobody said Peter Cushing, though, did they?
I was thinking it because I was talking about him earlier today. But no, I couldn't bring. I
always watch it every Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Christmas.
Well, that is the one that was always on, wasn't it?
Yeah. There's a couple of movies I watch at Christmas on purpose because I used to watch them at Christmas as a kid. So I followed it into adulthood.
Nice idea. Yeah.
And Doctor Who and the Daleks. is one of them.
You think the stories went downhill after Tenet? I don't think this. I think a lot of people think the David Tennant stories were better than they actually were. There were some good ones for definite. I still think he had the best one altogether in the series history with Blink. But
the thing is, the thing with
Gridlock is awful. Fear is the worst episode in Doctor Who history.
The thing with Tennant was he had the advantage of picking up the baton from Eccleston.
Yes.
And they at that point they could then do the effects and stuff that much more convincingly, having had a season to practice with it all. And then it was all just running around with Billy Piper all the time, and it just worked, didn't it? I think
he had a lot of energy that he brought to the role.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it is a hell of a role to get, because you could be called upon to do literally anything, couldn't you, at any given point in time? It's fascinating. It must be fascinating as an actor to actually play it. I think, you know.
I think Capaldi got lumbered with an awful lot.
Because he had a lot of angst to deal with, didn't he, Capaldi?
Yeah.
A much darker Doctor in some respects.
Yeah, there was definitely a drop in viewership during the Matt Smith era, or towards the end of it, because they tried to take it in a different direction. They were trying to Americanize the show, weren't they? They were trying to appeal to that American audience. And I don't necessarily know if that really worked, but I think overall it worked. The series worked. But he came into that, and just because of his age and his bronchitis, he couldn't bring the same kind of energy to it.
No.
There's one episode where I think the TARDIS has landed in a field, and he has to, I think he tells, is it Clara at the time, his companion?
Yeah.
To wait at the TARDIS doors, and he runs halfway across the field, runs back to tell her something, runs again, runs back to tell her something, and I think he does it 3 times. Oh my God, that poor man. He really did suffer with his breathing. It's like they were trying to kill him off or something. Bless him. What have we got? We've got a light. Did one of the writers leave when Tennant did? Yeah, the show producer.
Did he leave at that point?
Yeah, it was Russell T Davies that left at that point. And that's why Tennant left. He said that he'd leave with him so that the new showrunner would be able to do whatever he wanted, a clean start. Yeah. Which maybe he should have stuck around for one more year.
Yeah, a bit of a handover, perhaps. Would have made sense, but yeah.
Or maybe half a season. That would be interesting. See the Doctor regenerate halfway through a season.
Yes.
You know, instead of the end.
Yeah.
Or another good thing to do might be to have the upcoming Doctor join the current Doctor during a season and maybe do some back and forth with them before the regeneration actually happens.
You're hired.
But didn't they just do that?
Well, it was one episode, wasn't it? For like 10 minutes even. 10 minutes. I mean over a longer time.
And the interesting thing is they nearly did that with the War Doctor, didn't they? Except they went back, because we'd never seen him before.
The pewter left. Only started when David came back. Now I'm done with it.
Peter Davison, does he mean? Maybe.
I'm trying to think of. Robert's quite young. So he certainly wasn't around when Peter Davison was there. Unless he's been watching it on Catch Up.
Perhaps he'll tell us in a moment.
Now, Robert. Okay, then. What's going to be the next one? What's your favourite toy line? Could be a silly question, but come
on. Toy lines, not manufacturer.
Sorry, my bad. Of course. Yeah, your favourite toy line.
Favourite toy line.
I thought these would have been quick fire answers on this one.
got to give this due consideration. It's an important question.
When you collect a lot of different, and you collect modern vintage, it can be quite hard to choose. I'm going to go Mask.
Okay.
I think I've got to go Transformers.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Transformers, you can get all sorts of different toys in it, of different things. But you also got the storyline and the comics and stuff to back it up, an animated series, and lasted the test of time, all that sort of good stuff, you know.
Don't know what I'm saying.
Gareth's now cogitating.
It's a toughie. It's really tough.
It is.
I like Transformers a lot. I'm a big Transformers fan. But is there so much inconsistency? Is there a lot of QC with it that makes me say, do you know what, it's maybe not the best?
But there's you see, I would apply the Star Trek logic to that, in the sense that if you run Star Trek from the original series through to the end of Enterprise, take that's a cohesive whole, and the continuity kind of works across that and the original movies, yeah. So you've got that as a sort of solid mass of continuity. Now, when it comes back, inevitably they've got to reinvent it because technology has changed. The format of TV shows has changed. It's all changed. So they try something different and bold and brave, and it's a bit crap. And then they start over again and come at it another way, and so it keeps reinventing itself. I don't think Toylines are any different. So we will always hold dear to our hearts the G1 continuity and the cartoon and the film and the comics and everything else that came with the G1. And then we get the G2 and it's kind of the same thing, but it's a bit different, a bit quirky, a bit more colourful, a bit more violent perhaps. And then obviously we go into Bayverse and everything else, and it's kind of to some people. And yet they're still trying to tie it back, but they've got to start afresh each time to some extent, because they've got to keep it fresh, because the kids of that age are expecting something different than what we expected when we were in the 80s. So I don't discount it because of that, but obviously it will never be my Transformers in the sense that it was when it was back then. But I do appreciate it when they do the throwbacks. I mean, Beast Wars was perhaps the really the best example of that, when they were clearly totally tying it into the original thing, and that's probably the best sequel, sort of legacy prequel series of anything that I can immediately sort of think of toy wise, that was both of its own but also tied it back to the original iteration of it so very, very cleverly. So fair dues to them on that one. When they first did the reveal of that, I was like, oh, it's very good. It's really very good for a kids' TV show. You do not expect that level of commitment, for fair dues to them. It was just very, very well done. Yeah. So I do admire what they've done with it, considering that it started off with toys that weren't even their toys to begin with, Gareth's still looking around the room trying to draw inspiration. I'm trying to buy him thinking time here, but I'm running out.
I did settle on something, but I feel like it's too easy, and it's a little bit of a cheap one to just say, there we go, because it's not necessarily online.
It can't be too easy, otherwise we'll do a Red Dwarf and go, justify your existence.
I was going to say Lego.
You're going to say what?
I was going to say Lego, but it's a toy line. It's actually a brand, isn't it?
Yeah, Lego's a bit. I think Lego is rather chameleonic.
Is it too big? Wouldn't it be like, what is
it has toy lines within itself, doesn't it?
What is your favourite part of Lego?
Yeah, and there's no one line that I can say is my favourite. I probably have more Star Wars sets than any others, but I love some of the Ninjago stuff.
Likewise.
I certainly love these adult collector sets that they're bringing out with where you build an Atari or a NES or the Mario question block, or I even bought the bloody BTS set. Just because I thought it looked cool. I didn't know what Dynamite was. I was like, oh, this looks really good. And then I'm like, what's BTS? Oh, right, okay. So I'm going to go with what's the worst toy line that I actually love, and that's the Dapple Doctor Who toys. They are awful, but I love them. They are such poor quality, but I love them.
Fair dues.
So
I think
let's
we
have
have.
a see what the chat's saying.
I was going to say the chat has various things that they're throwing into the mix.
Transformers, easy question. Fair enough. Well, we already know what you're going to say, Robert. It will be Transformers, won't it? Vintage Star Wars, obviously. I'm going to guess you mean the Kenner ones, because there were more than just Kenner ones, weren't there? Well, there was. I'm assuming you mean the 3 3/4 stuff anyway. Obviously, there was the micros, there was the die casts, and whatever else. Toys. Ooh, figures. Palitoy Action Man, says Mario. Yeah, I know you like your Action Man. Eve only collects Loki.
All the variants.
All Marvel Legends. Okay, cool. So you're going for something current and not something you grew up with. Fair enough. Transformers. Centurions, that's a good one.
Power Extreme, dream.
This, as though it hasn't been
Do it.
already.
Have to do it.
Hello, Stuck Inside. How are you? Currently, this guy's favourite toy line would be Gundam kits. He's lapping them up, bless him. Godzilla says Ben. Another Ben says mostly everyone will say Transformers, so he opted for Centurions. Okay. And
I do not dislike Centurions at all.
Fair enough.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
So instead of a toy line, your favourite all-time toy. One toy. I know what mine is.
I think I've got to go Jetfire, really. G1 Jetfire. Because he's a brilliant jet. And
He's
he's
still
got
very
armor.
solidly in that Transformers camp there, aren't you?
Yeah, but again, you see, that's the advantage that Transformers have. They can make anything a Transformer. But so he was both a really good articulated Transformer for maybe like the first time ever, even though he was someone else's toy originally, as in a Robotech figure. But he was also a really good jet, and when I put the boosters on his back, he's a freaking spaceship. So he's a spaceship, he's a jet, but he's a robot. I mean,
I like how you say that they can make anything a Transformer, and you haven't even seen BotBots yet. Yes, I have a transforming loo roll and sink plunger.
Excellent. I said anything, didn't I?
Yes. What about you then, Rudy? Your favourite all-time toy?
I'm going to go Power Master Optimus Prime with Apex armor, which is obviously the God Jinray for the Western audience. But even Power Master Prime, it's not only the best Transformer toy ever made, I think it's the best toy of all time ever.
Wow.
What I will say is I've got to give an honourable mention to Manta Force.
It's twice now. I'm not ducking away from this one. That is my number one toy.
It's incredible.
It is. The Manta Force.
And I think with my heart, it's Manta Force. With my intellect or my knowing of toy processes and how long it takes to design a toy and go through testing and all that, Power Master Prime is like ridiculous. But Manta Force it holds a very like dear part of my childhood. It was an unexpected Christmas gift the year it came out. And my mum and dad were really worried because they'd bought this thing with no prior knowledge and they thought it was too like young for me. But no, like I think I must have when I was 8. When did it come out? 86. Yeah,
Right.
my parents thought it was really young, and like a for a 4 or 5 year old. But like I was blown away by it. ridiculous. So good. Like, the box is massive. There's 3 factions, 3 vehicles to a faction, and an extra vehicle. All those figures, incredible.
I saw an advert for Starcom the other day that intrigued me, actually.
Starcom.
Yeah, 'cause it seems to have quite a lot of gimmicks to it, perhaps even more so than just the magnetic feet of the figures. They actually like, activate stuff with magnetism.
The shuttle, the Starcom shuttle, yeah. Some of the other vehicle, it had a bit that came out of the back, and you could have a cargo box in it. That actually, the dimensions fit 2 of the vehicles.
Right.
I didn't know that for a couple of years until I realised that that was a thing. Cool. That's how good Starcom is, as well as the magnets and motorized bits. And the motorized bits don't degrade over time.
It's a bit like one of those Japanese toys that I had that scared the life out of me because it suddenly just activated itself with no battery and started sort of doing stuff. And I'm like, what the hell? You know, it's just clever, you know.
No, the original Manta Force toy. Well, the only they've never remade it, have they?
No.
Do
Bluebird.
Yeah, do Mattel own the Bluebird brand altogether? Because I know they do Polly Pocket, don't they?
They do, yeah. And Mighty Max.
Why they've not brought Mighty Max back is beyond me.
I've got a couple of recent. My children chose them for Christmas, like a couple of Polly Pockets. Like I got a pinata, which turns into like a cool peach like area. Yeah, Polly Pocket's really good, but why have they not brought back Mighty Max or even Manta Force?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want them to bring it back.
They took Bluebird as a whole.
I want it to stay pure as ever, Manta Force. Yeah. I don't want it brought back.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. That's a good point. That's a good point. But yeah, could you imagine how much it would cost if they were to actually remake that original Manta Force toy now?
Loads.
They'd be like 150, 200 quid, surely.
Easily.
In today's money. And originally, I think they were $49.99. Which, when you think about what you got in that box for that money, it's incredibly good value.
Yeah, these days it'd have to transform and stuff, wouldn't it? They'd have to gimmick it out of their end. So
and that's probably why Rudy's right when he says don't bring it back, because that would take away from it. One of the things that I loved about that was how it inspired my imagination.
Yeah,
I created entire stories in my head with Manta Force.
You think they're going to float in the bath? They don't.
No, they don't. No.
For years, I was allowed to take it in the bath, and we did it one go, sank, never went in the bath again. I think I never took toys in the bath again after that time. Actually,
you see, even that, I bet even that's a change, because I wonder how many kids actually take baths these days. I bet a lot of kids just shower. Don't they?
Smell, not many.
Well, yeah, there is that, but yeah. Guy sat next to me on the train on Tuesday, and I just thought, either you really, really, really love your aftershave, or you're in desperate need of a shower and you're trying to mask the fact. One of the two. It's just like.
What's the chat saying? Special mention for Ring Raiders. What's Ring Raiders?
Ring Raiders.
Educate me. What's Ring Raiders? Do I have to Google it? I'll Google it.
Well, like Captain Planet, they had rings, didn't they? I think.
Oh right, the little aeroplanes on a ring.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll share.
One of them. I want to keep talking about Manta Force. Obviously, I think it was one of my very first videos. Actually, 3 or 4 videos in, I did a review of it. So we're talking 2018. I could really edit. So yeah, if you want to go back in time, literally, and check out my Manta Force video, please do.
Okay, I definitely will. That was my prime how it all started.
Before I was really confident on like talking on stream, it's like, and it comes like this, and so I think that I never watch my videos back, so I don't know, like that. because
Beyond editing them.
I do for reference to see what I've actually bloody got.
No, beyond editing them, I don't watch them back. Even when I'm taking part in the premiere, I tend to have it on mute and I'm focusing on the chat rather than what's on screen. Yeah. So Mark's favourite is the speeder bike. Okay.
That's an interesting one. Yeah, good playability in it for a small, relatively small thing.
Does Anne Summers count? Now, I'm not sure what that's got to do with this particular discussion, but I'm sure she can count. She opened up a business, a very successful one. She must be able to count. Jazz? Cool. Don't have a favourite, but love Street Sharks figures when I was younger. For the Men in Black stuff. Well, I've still got them if you ever want them back, Ben. Marbles. Okay. Do you still have any? Yeah. Are you two back together? I haven't seen you, Eve, since you separated. G1's Run Amok. Okay. Got no second.
Yeah.
Played with him today.
I did have him, I think. Was that the white one?
I think so. Was he? Was Run Amok white?
Don't know.
Yes.
But literally, didn't he just go vjink? Wasn't that it?
Toy cars.
Yeah,
Fair enough. No one in particular, Mario. No. Favorite child? Atat. Okay, I can imagine that'd be a lot of kids' favorite. Eve's. I've lost my marbles years ago. Mario saying bought more though. Space 99 Eagle, the Mattel one.
Yeah.
The big white plastic one.
The big one, yeah. Never seen it in the flesh.
Yeah, never seen it in the flesh.
Yeah. Definitely good. Summers has toys. Yes, you're the second to mention it. Hello, TJ. How are you? No, you're not. Okay, fair enough. Yes, it's Dave. Well, what? Yeah, the Ring Raiders. Okay. Been sorting my head out. All good now. Good. I'm glad to hear it. Yeah. Okay. What could be the next question then? I'll keep it toy related for now. What toy line would you like to see brought back that hasn't already come back? And I know Rudy's going to take mine again.
Trying to think what hasn't come back. It's quite tricky because they might not be current now, but a lot of them have had rebirths.
What hasn't come back in recent years? Say in the past 5 years or so.
Okay.
What you would like to see a new updated version of?
Oh, an updated version as opposed to a reissue of something long gone. Well, that could be the next. That could be part A.
Okay, yeah. We'll split the question. You can answer with both if you like. Answer with both. What would you like to see reissued? Or what would you like to see an updated version of? It's a very good point, Rudy.
So either a repeat or a reimagining.
Yes.
Okay. I would like to see
James Bond Jr.
the Buck Rogers toys be reimagined.
Okay.
Because they never did Hawk's ship, which was deeply cool. But I've seen someone do a Kickstarter styly 3D printed version. It looks epic.
Is it Stan Solo? Was Stan Solo doing it?
It's somebody in America who was doing it, I think.
That'd be Stan Solo.
But I have seen them come over on eBay over here. The what was it? With the Retro Blaster channel was featuring it, but I don't know if
it's Stan Solo.
Okay.
They're in each other's pockets.
But I don't think it's just that though, because there were also things like the Search. Was it the Searcher? What was it called? The big long white ship that was in the second series. There's all sorts of stuff they could do. They could do loads of figures and stuff off the back of it as well. So as for reissuing, I'd like to see the Centurions again. I know there has been there was some sort of
Yeah.
redoing of them, wasn't there? But
I've
it
got
wasn't.
them. I've got the Ramen Toys Centurions.
Was it good?
They are now first wave, like the first release. They're a little bit janky, but I like that. It's like when third-party Transformers started.
Yeah, yeah.
They have a real kind of like we're trying to find our feet with them. But yeah, they know that they've made more figures and they've got a better factory and all that. Yeah,
They're still going, are they? That's interesting. I didn't realize they'd done any. I've only ever seen one run of them. I think I hadn't really hunted them down after that. So I don't actually have any of them. I've only got a very bitty Ace McCloud that's not complete. That's it. That's the only because they're quite expensive.
Yeah.
As individual figures to get. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that's the reimagining. What was the?
Well, my repeat would be Centurions. The reimagining would be the Buck Rogers stuff because that never really got much of a go of it. Really, I don't think.
I'd like to see reimagined Visionaries. I'd like them to bring them back 6-inch figures, and I'd like them to redo holograms. Toys have not had holograms for a long, long time. Too long. I think they work really well in 6-inch scale. It's a proven fact now that you can upscale a 3 3/4 figure into. If you look at Marvel Legends, Black Series, GI Joe Classified, it would work as a 6-inch figure. You can then start thinking about a HasLab for some of the bigger pieces. I'd love to see that redone, reimaginized. And then they could add a bit more diversity because it's very white.
Yes, and they didn't release the female figures.
They did not, which they were meant to be Wave 2 figures, which is a shame because I like to buy female figures for that exact fact that ever got made, whether vintage or new. Yeah, I'd like to see that reimagined. What would I like to see reissued? It's a tough one with the reissue because it does take away kind of having something vintage. But the last couple of years, I bought vintage stuff and it's broken. You've spent X amount of money on it and it crumbles to pieces. That's why I'm quite happy to buy knockoff Transformers every once in a while because I know I'm going to get a nice Dinobot, not a one that falls apart with the first Transform. Would I like to see Mask brought back? Probably. It won't happen because they're all licensed. They were actual vehicles. What I want to see is this. I came prepared. I thought this question might come up. I want them wheeled warriors.
Lightning strikes.
But actually add Jace and Audric, and because they're just generic figures inside. Why can they not reissue these?
I only discovered those very recently that they actually existed. It's funny. I don't remember them ever seeing them on the shelves in this country at the time.
They weren't ever here.
No, didn't think so. France, loads of them in France on eBay.
Oh yeah, France, like some of the Poppy stuff or Poppy, and some of the other distributors. France was incredible. You could get Inspector Gadget figures, and they just never made it over here.
Over the pond, yeah.
Yeah, it took me 15 years to get a Wheeled Warriors toy. Yeah, I'd like them to reissue those.
I have seen them. I saw them at Leicester once. They had a few, and I should have grabbed one then. Really, it was silly of me, but I didn't.
They're overpriced. Well, not that overpriced. They're worth their while.
Yeah, I love that series. JMS series that as well.
Yeah, I'll get that one. I was going to drop another, but no.
You got something else to say?
Yes, I'd like them to reimagine the Galaxy Rangers.
Okay, interesting.
Because it's had nothing. There's zero, absolutely nothing since it came out. There's nothing. I love westerns in space.
Brave
robot horses. A character who's blatantly every Clint Eastwood character as your Shane Gooseman.
2020. Yes.
Yeah, it had females. It had black characters. It was really diverse and really good storytelling, and it's never been brought back. Maybe it shouldn't be brought back. Maybe it should be kept pure. That's what I like, things to be kept pure.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I understand. I keep forgetting when I ask these questions that I've got to answer them myself.
Yes, that's how it works.
Yeah. Actually, yes, there is one thing that I'd like to see them reissue, and I don't think it's been reissued. You might be able to prove me wrong here. The original My Pet Monster. That'd be a cool one to have. That the great big one. The plastic chains. Yeah.
The bright orange chains.
Yeah, I wanted one of those. Never got it.
Did it get reissued like once for one Christmas in like 2005 or something, and it never sold? So
it was recent as that. Honestly, I could imagine it getting reissued at some point in the 90s. I didn't know it'd been reissued any time as more recent.
Yeah.
Can
we respond to TJ's question? Because I believe there were Stargate figures.
I was going to go through it once we'd finished the segment. I'm trying to do a segment and then chat.
Okay.
I'm trying to keep some order to it. I don't know if it's working.
By all means,
tying things in. Something that
the gavel
getting reimagined is Skeletron and the Robo Skull.
Yeah.
Ridiculously good.
But there was a Kickstarter, wasn't there, to reimagine it in a 6-inch scale? And I should have bit the bullet on that one, but I didn't. I should have done. Speaking of Robo Skull, it's right there. I bring attention to it, usually to wind Mark up because I know how much he wants one, but he has now got the skull. He hasn't got the rest of it, but he's got the skull.
He hasn't got the Robo, but he's got the skull.
What would I like to see them do a reimagining of? I don't know.
While you ponder that, here's one for you.
Go on.
I would like them to a company to do pole position. I'd like somebody to make 2 vehicles and in a smaller scale. So like in the scale of Mask, whatever that millimeter dimension is.
But how many vehicles were there?
2.
Yeah. It's a short storyline.
and then you could do a couple of 2-packs of characters. The drivers, the daughter, the spider monkey. Someone like Ramen Toys, because they're doing like the bread van and the ramen racer. I feel like at some point they would do pole position. I always wanted a pole position like roadie toy when I was a kid.
I have very dim memories of it, and I did get the intro when I was doing intros a long time ago.
Right, I think I've got.
That's a great show. I think it's only got like 13 episodes.
Yeah, short thing, wasn't it? Go for it, Gareth.
They did do back in the 90s a very short-lived range of Darkwing Duck toys. And I think I'd quite like to see a reimagining of those. They don't even have to be 6-inch scale. Maybe they're still the original 4 inches, but with better articulation and expand the line to include more vehicles and more characters.
When you said Midnight, I bet you was going to go like, I bet you was going to say Sequest DSV.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Might be imagine a line that's going to last no longer than one wave.
Yeah. One wave. That's all it needs.
Not pun intended. Right. Where's the chatter? It's quite a long one on this, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think I'm as far back as here. Beyblades. Is that right?
Yeah. Spinny discs of doom. Yes.
Beyblades. Brother had a 6-inch Metal Space 1999 shuttle. Yes. Palitoy Action Force is a good shout. But in 6-inch, it's already been done, hasn't it, with Valaverse? To a degree.
To a degree.
Yeah.
He hasn't got
Can I
the
repeat
rights
the
to
question?
a few
Not at this
things.
point.
He's done some stuff inspired by it.
Yeah.
Away with.
Mask. Micronauts. Fair enough. That's a good one, Mark. Mask again. Visionaries. Battle of the Planets. I'd like to see some Marvel Legends stroke Black Series style Battle of the Planets figures.
Mm.
I think they're long overdue.
Absolutely.
I was looking at Ed's Diamond Select ones. He's got a full range, like Miggins here.
Monsters in My Pocket. See, that as a line really morphed throughout its existence. Waves 1 and 2 were very different to what came afterwards. And then also very different by the time you get Series 5 and 6 as well. They changed all the way along.
Thing is, how many collectors would get upset if they did do a straight reissue of an older?
Yeah.
Not loads of them. All of them would. Every single collector would get.
Definitely, yeah. Things like Go-Go's Crazy Bones and
Damn you!
things like that, not versions of Monsters in My Pocket, really.
Do you know what? A few years ago, I bought I feel like one was like an Aliens inspired, and one was like they were movie inspired blind bags of
Muscle.
of muscle. They were
I've
good.
got the alien muscle ones in the shop. And in
Yeah.
fact, the next comment, or next commenter, keeps buying them. Hello, Kaioken. Anything with holograms as the gimmick and Skeleton Warriors. Yeah, fair enough. Skeleton Warriors. Or could you imagine those as 6-inch?
It's a lost art.
Jason the Argonauts stuff.
Series? Can't think of any. Right, okay. Judy's and Pippers. Field Warriors have a toy line. There we go. Yes.
Yeah, and then one appeared.
Rudy was showing us a very, very nice looking one. Although, you mentioned the holograms. I think something else that we're missing an awful lot of at the moment, and you showed it on that Jason the Wheeled Warriors toy, the chroming, the vacuum metallized chroming. They're all going for this painted silver and gold look now, which is awful.
Last year, I bought Primal Prime and like the vac metalized.
Charlton and the Wheelies. Have a look on Nipa Studios.
Dum, 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 dum. I remember Charlton.
Clash of the
Clash of
Titans.
the Titans, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I could see NECA doing Clash of the Titans.
Do you think they would?
They could. I don't know if they would, but they could.
It'd be nice if they could sort of like the entire Harryhausen line.
I feel like when it comes to NECA, they need to have they need to know they've got a minimum of 8 figures
Yes.
to make that line successful.
You could easily do that with Harryhausen, though.
The minimum 8 releases of the same figure in different colours.
Yeah.
What? Like him, you mean?
Oh,
There you
definitely.
go.
Definitely. The money's worth out of that one.
They need 2 waves of 4 figures in.
Dolls, of course. Dolls like you and me. And a Jif lemon squeeze bottle. I knitted a raggy doll sad sack for my son. I'm not repeating that, Mark.
What does he mean?
He's got a sad sack.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah, well, maybe if he tickles it, it might turn happy. Age will do that to you, Mark. Doubt it. Brave Star is epic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Coming soon, couple of months' time.
I'd have bought Stargate figures. There's been a couple of lines of Stargate figures.
Yeah, and vehicles, I believe, as well.
Yeah, there was one for the original movie,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
then Art Asylum or Diamond Select brought out a wave, or a few waves from the TV series SG1.
Saw them in
and
Milton Keynes. I'm sure I've seen some in Milton Keynes that were quite old. Yeah.
He-Man. You want them to bring out more He-Man figures?
More He-Man.
Could they possibly bring out more He-Man figures?
What is left? I don't know what's left, is there?
And the amount of times that has been reimagined as well. In fact, the original toys haven't just been reimagined, but they've brought out the original toys exactly the same. They've reimagined them into something completely different, and they've reimagined them as the same thing, but better.
Well, I was going to say, actually, I mean, I don't have any of them, but I've seen Ed post about the Missing Link Transformers, which appear to be reimagined G1s, as far as I can tell. And that's a clever way to go, I thought.
I've had like this discussion before about who we want from the G1 or Diaclone toy line to get that Missing Link like makeover, if you will.
Yeah.
Because some you're going to be able to do it, others you cannot go there. Like the engineering of that toy will not allow it to be feasible.
Of all the ones to do after the Optimus Prime, I'm surprised that the Minibots.
Yeah, I'm shocked that they've gone Minibots.
Yeah, I'm surprised at that because the size of them, there's not much extra engineering you can squeeze into that.
Mm-hmm.
And they never had joints.
They've done a good job. They do look good. They're not for me.
Me
Yeah, I'm not interested. I was absolutely blown away by the Optimus Prime. And I'm open to more. If I was going to say anything, I want a Megatron to go with it. And I know it never happened with Hasbro, but this isn't Hasbro, it's Takara, so it could. And I can think of possibly Soundwave and Jetfire that I'd like. Beyond that, I don't think I really need anything else.
Let's put your expectations there. You won't get Jetfire.
Right. Well, obviously not. No.
Well, yeah.
No, obviously not. No. Although, was it you that had the Fokker, the Roy Fokker? Yeah, it was you, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes,
yeah. Very nice. That. Very nice.
They wouldn't let it
pick
go,
them up.
though.
You can't get other than buying the original.
6-inch and 3 3/4 inch. Well, I suppose you can squeeze anything in there with the right amount of lube and the right amount of foreplay. He's talking about, of course, the new Red Skull, Robo Skull. It'll take 6-inch figures or 3 3/4.
Ah, clever.
But it'll take 1 6-inch figure or 2 3 3/4 figures, if I remember rightly.
Correct.
Yeah, I thought so. I bet, says mine. Sport Billy.
Sport Billy.
I don't. That's before my time, I'm guessing.
He's a time-traveling sporting hero who goes back and sorts stuff out, and he has a magic bag from which he can extract all manner of sporting goods that are enchanted to allow him to save the day, if I'm remembering correctly.
Right, well, until you mentioned that
flying
magic
shoes.
bag.
Think Mary Poppins and PE.
Okay. But before you mention that
really
magic
wobbly
bag, we're
clockwork
talking about
time
Fifth
machine.
Doctor. Sorry, the boys all had gargoyles. They're now being reimagined via NECA.
I've got two.
2 of them.
Yeah, I've got Goliath and I've got Bronx, his dog.
The dog. Yeah.
Too big. They're way too big.
Are they?
Wingspan is like this.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But if you buy Bronx, you get a cloaked wings. So I can
I'm
actually have
surprised that they still haven't managed to sort a licensing deal out to bring them over here.
Yeah, they can't. They can't.
It's
sell
mad,
it
isn't it? Especially considering it's a Disney line. Hello, Victoria. How are you? His brother have the best toys. Hi, Victoria. Valaverse only have the name, no rights or likeness, though. I don't think the likeness is such a big deal on the Action Force figures, were they? Because they were so generic.
They'll be expired now anyway, probably.
Yeah. Valaverse suck. Hasbro still own the rights to Action Force likenesses. Like I say, they were so generic. I don't think that should really be a issue.
Interesting. They could try, I suppose.
It's only a matter of time. Hasbro let things like lapse all the time.
Well, they won't have the option. It's once it's gone, it's gone.
Irony there as well. Hasbro have just allowed. Well, they haven't allowed, but they've just brought out the Crystar figure. Well, I actually am friends with the guy who owns the toy rights to the Saga of Crystar, and they did not ask his permission.
Ooh, That's going to be lucrative.
And the only reason he hasn't pursued anything there is because he doesn't want the cannons backfired onto him for the things that he does.
How is that?
Yes, Jason Agos set. What's that?
He's thinking of Jason and the Argonauts, I believe.
Oh, right. Yes, definitely. Super 7 doing fact formed Silverhawks. Are they?
Silverhawks.
Okay. That metal. I knew what you meant.
Or was I like to call them Thunderbirds?
Stargate, fair enough. She-Ra. Yeah, they've done them as well. They've done them a few times now. They have 3 waves of Stargate. Everything from the movie toys. Did they do movie toys?
Yeah.
No, I mean, did Diamond Select do movie toys?
Oh, don't know.
Figures all the way through. Everything you can get your hands on.
Yeah, that was pre-Diamond's time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
It was like 9 maybe.
Away from the Watchtower. Are you Dom? Have you just changed your name? Battle Beats. Yeah, actually, that would be nice to see them back. Actually,
I feel like that's a Kickstarter, or it was a Kickstarter.
Was it?
Well, yeah, someone reimagining Battle Beasts.
Oh, reimagining them. All right, okay.
Would they be the same kind of size, or would they be big figures?
No, I think they're saying.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Interesting, yeah.
Interesting.
I can't remember who it is though.
Think of any. Okay. Do a video gap now.
Wow.
After we finished, though, yeah.
Dial the gate.
Congo. Big hard content. Let's not go there. Soundwave missing link. Yes. Yeah, that would be nice.
Soundwave superior. Bless him.
Referring the missing link, the Autobot cars will be a challenge, especially the likes of Hound, for example. Like I said, I can't believe I can't believe they've done the minicons. You should be on here talking with us, Ed, celebrating our first anniversary of the Cosmic Council. Come on, you've got the link. Well, pick
my clunkers. Andalusians.
Okay. My Disney shop in Liverpool. That's not there now. Are you referring the gargoyles, the old toys?
Yeah, Disney shops are interesting. I haven't been in a Disney shop for ages.
Well, our local ones have all closed down.
Mm.
Action Force rights are tied up with G.I. Joe, so I doubt they'll let them go.
Did they used to be in the White Rose? Am I thinking Meadowhall?
Yeah, no, there used to be one at the White Rose.
Yeah.
There's one
There
inside
used to be one at Meadowhall.
I feel like I bought my Darkwing Duck, not Funko Pop, but the Funko.
Yeah, the figure.
I wanted the Rescue Rangers, but they didn't have them in stock.
Yeah.
Oh, Hasbro did the movie toys. Okay. Yeah. That figure's timing wise. Yeah.
Not buying anything nice for their. Is anyone? We'll take that as an opportunity. Has anyone got any pickups that they want to show us? No, Andy normally likes to show us his latest acquisitions.
Well, coming soon to videos near you, but he's already been on a video. So this is my first ever NECA look.
Oh, that's your first ever.
That's my first ever, because I know that I'm going to want more of them. I don't think he's actually.
That's a
I'm not
rabbit.
sure- I'm
Is
not
that
sure
a
that's
NECA?
complete.
Is that a NECA? It's not a McFarlane one, no. It's got bendy elbows, hasn't it? It's not a McFarlane.
Yeah, I think it's NECA. So I got him in an alien, but strangely he's shorter than the alien, which slightly surprised me.
No, that's about right.
You think?
Yeah.
But yeah, but I mean he is very, very. I don't think he hasn't got all his bits. He was loose, so. But for me, I quite like that because it means I don't have to debate whether or not I have to get him out of the bloody box.
He's got his spikes. That's a good start.
which is the main thing. I mean, they're pretty integrated, I think. But he hasn't got his cannon. He hasn't got his plasma caster. No, so that's okay. It's cool for display purposes. Loose. That's fine for me. I'm not that not too fussy. I also got this as well, which amused me because I think I've already got a little I've already got a little version of the normal alien, but that one just tickled me.
That's Alien Queen.
Yeah, it's Alien Queen. Yeah, this one is. Yeah, but I've got another one in this style, which is normal alien.
Okay, yeah.
So I've still got no idea what line they are or who did them.
Titans.
Titans.
It says it on the foot.
I know it does say it on the phone. I realised that after the fact though, that they actually had something scribbled there. I was too busy trying to get through it all, but yeah, but like you, and I got this in honor review because I saw it and I felt I had to pick it up. So it was there and it spoke to me, so I got it. But yeah, I've got other stuff coming, but that may take some time because, as with yourself, I'm expecting a rather large auction drop at some point.
Yeah, Predator is brilliant, apparently.
Mm.
There's a cool C-3PO and R2 coming from
Which Predator film is my favourite?
Okay, interesting.
I'll tell you which Predator film is my favourite. Can I interject? Victoria asked which Predator film is my favourite. That's a very interesting question in the sense that
I misread that. I thought she said the Predator film was her favourite. Right? I see it now. Sorry.
Yeah. I liked the initial Predator simply because it was super fresh at that point in time, and it was an Arnold film, and I think it's one of the better Arnold films as well, personally. But Predator 2 fascinated me simply for the last few minutes of it, where you suddenly get a tie into the Alien verse. And it's like, all of a sudden you're like, whoa. And it's like, that's really interesting. Yeah. Plus the simple fact that you see shed loads more Predators, of course, at that point as well. So you start to realize what their actual code is at that point as well. I think it's fair to say. So I think actually the second one, although it's a bit cheesier in places, certainly, but it's building the lore up. And then obviously they went full bore with the whole Aliens versus Predator and all that sort of stuff. But for me, I know it from the comics, so I have a slightly different view on it coming from that angle. So, I think it's very, very clever melding of the two universes. And it was a very obvious thing to do in some respects, but it's kind of, I quite like the first Aliens versus Predator film they did. I thought that one was pretty good, actually. So, yeah.
I enjoyed it more on second viewing. I think I expected more from it when I went into it.
Yeah, it's very like the comic, actually, in many respects, apart from its setting.
Okay. But yeah, on second viewing, I'd gotten over that whole "this is a load of rubbish," and just got to like, oh, it's not that bad actually. Else, where do we get to? They only pick up. Oh, yeah, Ben got Bastila Shan and a mini Mecha Godzilla Destroyer from a very reputable shop. Very nice of you to say.
Smith's great.
Yeah, thank you. Checks in the post. First off, have you got anything to show us then, Rudy?
I don't. I haven't bought anything for 2 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I am currently building the savings fund because I know there is a couple of things coming that are pricey that I want.
Okay, why? What have you got your eye on?
So I've put a deposit down for the Marshall, which is Ramen Toys Brave Star.
Wow.
And they are also doing something called the Great White, which is Gloria Baker's car from Mask.
Okay.
That's going to be like easily 140. So yeah, a toy that never ever got made.
Oh, see,
yeah,
right.
That was never made. Ever, so
I know very little about Mask. I must
an
admit.
opportunity to get a toy from the 80s that's never been made before.
Interesting. Yeah,
I'm really chipping away each week. I'm putting leftover money in there to get something. I've got my eyes on a couple of things that I want, but I'm trying to be good and not buy for a couple of months. And plus, I've still got stuff I haven't opened yet. I'm a bit of a squirreler, so I'll put stuff away and then think, oh, I've forgotten I've got that. I'll open it.
That's good.
That happens. That's a thing.
I think we're all a little bit like that, aren't we?
I've got a whiteboard filled with stuff that I have yet to do videos of. It's that bad.
To the point that this week I was like, oh, when Hot Toys announced that they were doing the
Hamill
version 2.0
figure.
No, they were doing version 2.0 of Darth Maul on the Sith Speeder.
Oh,
Wow.
And
How much is that?
God, I never thought that they'd reissue that. And then I was like, oh, mine's still sealed in the brown box. I've got nowhere to put it, so it's just lived its life in the box. It could be broken for all I know. I hope it isn't.
Nacelle Toys are also doing Biker Mice from Mars. And they're going to be, if you want the bikes as well, they're going to be a lot. But they're a bit,
what kind of scale are they?
6-inch.
6-inch. It's weird how that has become the standard, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's big, isn't it? It's pretty big.
I feel like there were 4-inch figures in the 90s.
That's right.
But I think it's...
No, actually, they're probably about...
They must do market research.
Yeah.
And they must know that adult collectors gravitate to 6-inch now. I still got a lot of love for 3 3/4 for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't think the market is there anymore.
No. It's a shame.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Definitely. But no, it is strange how 6 inches become just the standard for
So it's
everything.
a little bit smaller than him then, this, but kind of up to his shoulder height.
Yeah, that'd be about right.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, the Biker Mice from Mars look incredible.
Big enough to do good detail, though.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so I can kind of see that, yeah. Was Centurion 6-inch?
No, they were 8.
They're right.
I was going to say they're bigger,
Yeah,
aren't they? Yeah,
They are big boys.
they are big, yeah.
Yeah, Brave Star was 8.
Oh, do you know?
And Centurions were 8.
So were Thundercats, weren't they? Or they're 7.
They were possibly 7. I think Panther was 5.
Probably 6.
And Nomra was a bit bigger as well. Yeah, Panther was really little compared to Lion-O from the LGN toys.
Mm.
They were a mixture of scales, actually. They were really well done, I think, the LJ and Thundercats toys.
I've still yet to pick one of those up, actually. But funny enough, I've got the second generation toys. You know, and I thought they were impressive of their sort. You know, of the reimagined cartoon version of it. You know, I thought they've done quite a nice job with them. But yeah, I just never picked them up when I was little.
Great show as well.
But yeah, I love the cartoon. I mean, I love the show.
Really,
For some reason, I just never got the figures. Strangely, for me, too many Transformers. I think
that show did some really cool things. It had a character called Took It, who was a thief. Took It.
Okay.
And it also brought in this character who floats on the wind, who was actually inspired by Japanese law. And he fights with the blade of grass, and he teaches Lion-O how to be a bit more of a better swordsman. But yeah, he's deep rooted in Japanese folklore. God, I love that show, as well as the original show, obviously.
I've never watched the 2011 show because I was told it ends on a cliffhanger.
Oh yeah, of course. Like most cartoons of the 80s, it's true to form.
Yeah, well, it was meant to continue, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Due to
Yeah.
good performance, it didn't get.
I think they had high hopes, and the toys are good. I mean, the toy lines. I think I just got a job a lot of them. I think at one point just because they look cool, and I didn't have the vintage ones.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was just like a more reasonable way to get into them, just generally have a look at them, basically. You know, so just because the characters were so similar to the originals.
So Ben here goes from saying such lovely things about Cosmic Toys to saying things like this. He likes Alien versus Predator Requiem. It's just like, what? Who likes that film?
One person ever.
But I can't think of one reason to like it.
I can't.
Well, it's got a pred alien in it, and that's straight out of the comics as well.
Yeah, I will agree that's cool, but only on the same basis of that really weird thing that is birthed in Alien Resurrection looks cool. It's it's an awful film. How they even thought it'd be a good idea to do an Alien and Predator story, and have it set a portion of it. Well, set it all in the dark so nobody can see what's going on.
Do we have to keep talking about it?
They made it. They made it into a bit of a teen flick as well, didn't they? Let's face it. So
In a
it's, you know,
certain scene set in a maternity ward. That's ridiculous.
Stop talking about it.
Ramen Toys Black Car looks so good. Not seen the mask one though. Okay, what's the Black Car? Is that Kit?
So they are doing Ghost Rider's car.
That one's Funko.
is it?
Yeah, that one's Funko. That was one of the mystery minis.
Well, that must be in the same series as the other one I showed you, though. Surely, no, really? What? Well, I'm gonna have to look at their feet in better light then. In that case, because
No, they're totally different. Totally different.
totally different.
They are.
Yeah, one's a queen, one's not.
R2 and 3PO, and he got a free Disney key. Woohoo. Okay. I'll display the Darth Maul for you, Gareth. Okay. Oh, there she is. There she is. What's she called?
Michiko,
Chico.
as I recall. Now, but she's from the comic continuity. So this is the lady human from Alien versus Predator in the comics continuity set in the future.
Yeah.
So different sort of setup, but it's a very good version of her. This is when she's joined the Predator clan, so she's got her own helmet there on the top. That's actually Eagle Moss, that one.
You know, you just said something there that's made me think of something. When you said set in the future,
Yes.
the Predator films were all set current day Earth when they came out. Yet the Alien films were all set in the future, weren't they? I've never really considered that before.
Yeah, but that's why you get the beginnings of Weyland-Yutani in current day pinching the Predator tech, and then lo and behold, we've got starships that are Weyland-Yutani starships and terraforming and everything else in the future because they nicked the Predator tech.
I see we're still talking about Alien versus Predator.
Yeah, it would appear so. Moving on. Rudy wants to move on. Let's move on.
Not that particular film. Off topic, have you seen the Fallout Season 1? And what did you think of it? I haven't seen it.
Me either.
List.
It's
bought
on
my-
the list.
It's on the list. Yes, it's on the
I've
list.
seen it. And I already had him.
Did you get that with the game from years ago?
No, I got it from eBay.
That came with the Xbox game, I think.
Well,
Yeah.
I assume it came with Fallout 76, yes. And I've picked up a Fallout 4 111 just from Alfreton just recently because he didn't know what it was, so I just grabbed it. But yeah, I've played the Fallout games from year dot, but ironically, I've only played 1 and 2 all the way through. I haven't actually got into 3 and 4 because, to my mind, completely different gameplay style. So, but I think from what I've seen, I probably would still quite like them because they will still make a lot of callbacks. So I might give them a go. I think I've got them on various online offerings, you know. But I did love the series. I think they've done a brilliant job of it because they've not, whilst it's in the Fallout universe and many things will be familiar, the story is completely independent of anything that's come before, essentially, to my understanding anyway. So, you know, all the elements of it will be immediately familiar if you're familiar with the Fallout games. And even if you're not, it's still a good romp. Now, somebody was saying that it was too gratuitous. I don't know who was I haven't seen. Where did I see that conversation? I don't know if it was in one of my videos or something that people were basically sort of saying they felt it was overly nasty. Oh, that's right. No, it was my Captain Mutant, who turns up here every now and again.
Yeah.
He did a video that had quite a few people debating in the comments because he was basically saying he thought it was overly violent for the sake of being overly violent. But actually, I think compared to a lot of modern stuff, it really isn't. And the Fallout games have always had critical hits and maximum gore and all the rest of it as options. So basically, if you're familiar with the Fallout universe, nothing that happens in the series will strike you as being out of character for Fallout as a game.
Okay.
It's that simple. But it is, I really like the actress in it. She's British. She reminds me a lot of Jenna Coleman. Is it Coleman from Doctor Who? Yeah, but she's not. But all the actors seem to have gelled really well together. It's one of those shows that just works, even though the cast is quite disparate for quite a lot of it. So yeah, I mean, I would definitely recommend it, and it's relatively short, so it's not like it's a massive commitment of time, you know. But it is very, very well executed, definitely. Yeah.
Have you seen it, Rudy?
No.
Yeah. Is it on the list?
Yep.
Yeah, I've purposefully there tried to avoid spoilers like a bugger because you just try and come to it cold if you can. 'Cause it's worth it. Yeah.
Well, Wednesday's like always like spoiler day because that's when like X-Men 97 drops. I'm like, I have to turn YouTube off.
I think it's turned off.
One of the channels that I like subscribe to will have videos on it, or even like Facebook will have like, oh yeah, you should watch it because this happens. I'm like.
Yeah, Victoria is into a fallout. It's already
I haven't seen that yet either.
No, I haven't either. Actually, I haven't caught it.
I haven't seen that yet either. And someone did turn around and tell me who dies in it, and I was like, cheers, thanks very much for that. Very kind of
like my son spoiling Endgame for me.
No. Oh, I shouldn't speak ill of the dead, but I did have a friend who, every time he saw a film at the cinema, he would come into the shop that same day.
No.
Fucking hell, can you believe they've killed Luca and you're just back from dead? Oh, thanks for that, mate. Well, you don't like spoilers, do you? It's like, well, when it's something I really care about, yes. And then not too long after that, it was, can't believe they've killed Tony Stark off in new Avengers film.
That's what my son did to me.
Cheers, mate. My son did to me. Literally day of release.
I could see something just had to escape from him. He couldn't hold himself in because he'd seen it with a friend before I could see it, unfortunately. And I was just like,
But I do look back now and I miss the chap because he has passed and he doesn't spoil anything else for me anymore, bless him.
Unless he appears as a Force ghost, yes.
Are these toy companies male? It would explain the bigger sizes. More vintage sized with modern articulation, please. D&D would be amazing. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Were those D&D toys that got released very breaky, or were they more like figurines?
They were NECA. So both of the above.
Excellent.
Hasbro did the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon stuff.
Of course, yes. Yes, they did.
Pixel Dan, big YouTuber, he had problems with hands on Hank. And I was just like, unlucky Pixel Dan. My best mate who collects them had it as well. And then another friend who's a toy collector had it. And I'm like, okay, that's a no.
They all had the problems.
I think quite a few people had QC issues with the Hasbro ones.
Right. Unfortunate.
Which is a shame. But Super 7 are doing a range of Dungeons and Dragons.
They do look good as well.
Yeah, it looks great. I'm currently in the process of building an ultimate 80s villain shelf. So I want Avenger.
Of course.
But I don't want the Hasbro version because he's not big enough.
Okay.
Because he's got to kind of sit with some other bigger characters that I have in a certain scale. He's going to look too diminutive on the shelf.
Yeah, it's tricky that, isn't it, if they're coming from different places. Yeah. Don't
spoil. No, like, scale at all, and it's all loads of different brands of what characters I've got on there, but I need some cohesiveness to it. I can't put like a 3 3/4 figure with a 7-inch Super 7 figure.
Yeah.
Against a G1 Galvatron.
Yeah.
Oh,
take care, TJ. You're probably long gone now.
TJ.
This is a work in progress from about 5 years. I've been trying to do this shelf.
That is a tricky one, yeah.
What have you already got and what are you needing?
So I've got an eHobby G1 Galvatron. So that's more purple than the toy version. I've got Super 7 Cobra Commander,
Okay.
and I've also got a Hasbro 3 3/4 Cobra Commander. So they're two one looks like an Action Force the movie, the other one looks like a G.I. Joe toy version. A NECA toon version of Shredder and Krang.
Are you going
Skeletor.
cartoons only then?
No, it's just going to be a kind of a mix of whatever, really. So I've got some toy aesthetic, some screen aesthetic.
So will it be whatever you see that you like?
Yeah, whatever I want on it. It's my rules. It's my shelf.
Your damn shelf, sir. Yes.
Because I like both. I like a bit of screen accuracy here and there, and I like a bit of toy playability.
Like,
I want to be reminded of toys that I had as a kid.
yeah.
Got Super 7 Hordak, but that's like when they re-released like the original figures, but just through Super 7, because they didn't, as a kid, they didn't do Hordak in toon colors, but in 2019 they did a Super 7 Hordak in blue and white as opposed to grey.
Yes.
He's next to Skeletor, but that's a recent one from He-Man. Is it Origins? No.
Origins.
Yeah.
The Origin line or the Revelations?
Or Revelations.
Origin.
Because that's got the toy face, but loads more articulation compared to.
Yeah. It's a very good line of figures, to be fair.
Who else is on there?
They were the first.
I've got KFC Toys, Keith's Fantasy Club, a Psykill. So yeah, I'm just putting all the bad guy leaders on a shelf together in various styles.
Okay. So will there be a Darth Vader on there at any point?
I'd like to think so. Not the Emperor. I've never been a fan of Palpatine at all. I've never been interested in owning. Offense.
He's a wizard old bloke in the hood. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I literally had zero interest in owning an OAP.
I see my powers have exceeded.
I kind of Vader probably won't go on there because I want to get a Vader that's battle damaged from Force Unleashed. Yeah, when you play that game, you see him you see his leg, you see all his face. I want a Black Series battle damaged Vader, and I don't tend to buy the same character over and over again. If I've got one Mum-Ra, that's fine for me. If I've got one Optimus Prime, that's fine for me. I do have two Optimus Primes, but that's fine.
Who else?
Yeah, I want Avenger for that shelf.
Oh, yes.
I
do like
and then I can add to it. That's why it's a work in progress. I'll just add or take away.
What was the who was the leader of? Was it Venom in Mask that was the bad faction?
Miles Mayhem.
Miles Mayhem. He'd be quite small, wouldn't he? I suppose.
Yeah, that'd be too small. It'd get buried. You wouldn't get any shelf presence.
It's just a old man in a grey suit.
Yeah, I don't want loads of pensioners in my collection.
If they make a film of Mask, they would have to cast Brian Cox as Miles Mayhem.
That's a good shout.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you know which one I mean? I don't mean the scientist.
Yeah. I don't mean the spacey guy.
Yeah. Not
You mean Hannibal Lecter?
Yeah. It literally just hit me then that he would make a brilliant Miles Mayhem.
Yeah, really good. I reckon he'd chew the scenery. You'd get really into
definitely. He's such a good actor. He really is such a good actor. No, he's great. Definitely. Well, I'm going to open because I think they come in a packaging that you can open anyway. I'm going to open something that arrived last week. Oh, well, I've got 4 somethings. I'm not sure if Andy will recognise what they are, but you might, Rudy.
No, what is that?
No? It's a Chinese company that's decided to continue the adventures of Mighty Max.
No, Max, you say?
But they can't call him Mighty Max, so it's called Mighty Hat.
Right.
Excellent.
First one, well, there's 4 in the set. They've been very, very canny. Is Rudolph. So it's the head of a demonic reindeer with a red nose. And the hat itself, which is there. Which is quite clever. Yeah?
Oh, we have Forever Retro over on my channel. How bizarre.
So it's like a possessed hat. They've only done 2 molds, but they've done each one in 2 colours because they're very clever like that, aren't they? The hat comes with an actual Max. This one comes with a different hair-coloured guy.
Oh,
So instead of him having a white shirt, he's got an orange shirt and he's got a black hat. Oh, he's dead. He's gone.
yeah.
Oh, it's on the floor. Wait, I'm never going to find cat.
Well, that's gone.
So he's got a black hat by the look of it. I quite like this. There we go.
So instead of Mighty Max, it's sort of moderately impressive Max, is it?
Yeah. Opens up.
Well, that looks
Just
really
like a Mighty
cool.
Max. I can see the big bad guy up here
Yeah.
on a snowy base. It's quite cool. I hope they start doing the larger size ones though, because these were my least favourite of the Mighty Maxes. But he does stand in it as well, which is cool.
Like perfect pocket money toys. It's
Oh,
just,
they were, weren't they? They were.
Yeah.
These were
that's why
quite...
that's why I'm glad my kids were like they gravitated to Polly Pocket. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's just a lot of fun. And boys and girls. I've got one boy, one girl.
Yeah, I had to really fight myself a few months ago. I was in TK Maxx browsing around and they had a Polly Pocket and it was a UFO.
Yeah.
It was actually a flying saucer that opened up as a playset, and I'm looking at it and I was like, really
like-
want that.
Whoever's doing their PR or whoever's doing their designing is probably somebody our age.
Probably.
And they're
Oh, could be. Yeah,
like, I'm making the toys that I want,
Yeah.
yeah.
making them past.
Because they can.
I can't justify having a Polly Pocket in my collection, but I really want that. I will get it at some point, I'm sure. I know what I'm like.
I'm
So
just trying to unpack something here. Hang on. I'm not entirely sure what this is going to end up being.
I like what they've done with the packaging on these.
In
So
terms of collecting, I don't think I've ever really overly genderfied. Like, I'm pretty sure I had Sylvanian families as a kid.
That's. I think it probably leans more towards girls, but it is a little bit more universal, is that, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah, definitely.
And I
What was
had like,
that, Andy?
It says bananas, but I'm pretty sure it isn't.
Okay.
it's not.
But yeah, I like what they've done with the packaging on these. So you've got a proper blister attached to the card the way it normally would be, but then over the top of it, there's another blister that's just got sticky dots on it to hold it in place,
Nice.
so you can unpack it without damaging the card.
Oh, clever.
They know their market, don't they? They know their market.
That's smart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dangerous for shops, but smart.
So have you ever bought anything from Boss Fight?
No, I haven't, but they do some good stuff.
So their packaging is removable.
Really
Yeah,
good stuff.
one of the Toad Troopers from Bucky O'Hare, and you can literally take the card back off the plastic and put it back on as much as you want, and it doesn't damage it. It's a game changer.
I suppose you could do that with magnets, couldn't you, or something as well, or all sorts of stuff if you wanted to be that clever about it. Look at that.
That's really cool.
So good. Actually figuring a play set in one.
Yeah. I mean, I think they've cost about 15, 20 quid each, which, considering the size of them, it's not cheap, is it? But
I know it's comparable to some things on the shelves I've seen lately.
yeah, well, comparable to some of the things that's behind me as well, to be fair. But yeah, I do hope that they go on to do well. They've already announced a wave 2, because one of them is a gingerbread man. or a ginger dead man, rather.
Dead man.
I'm quite interested in those, so I'll be putting an order in for them as well. So yeah, they're quite cool, those. And they've done the same thing again. So the hat is also available in black. And the Rudolph is also available in white. And obviously I got all four. Because, yeah, it's got to be done. I've got to find all these bits of packaging now and put them back. Are you showing us something there, Andy?
I have. I've just finished me unpacking.
Oh, right. Okay, go on then.
There you go.
Oh, the Joker van. Turtle.
This is the big one. I'm going to get all of the. I'm going to get all of them. I think should be on their way or arrived at this point. Just to demonstrate the different scales that they did them at the time. Because they just went for like, but oddly, some of the line got all three scales, and other bits of it didn't. It's really weird. So, like the bat wings, you only get a really big one, a really tiny one. You don't get the middle-sized one.
Yeah,
it's really odd. I don't know why, but yeah, this is the one I didn't have an example of. So yeah, I don't know if it actually does anything at all, but it's just but there is a Joker in it. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Can you see? There's a figure in there.
Oh yes, yes.
So on the smaller versions, I think it's just got blacked out windows, but they did actually go to the effort to put him in there, which is clever of them. So yeah, nice, solid, chunky die-cast examples. I think I've nearly rounded out that little collection of the sort of the 89 Ertl
sort of
vehicles now.
Don't I? We got today. Hello, Mr. B. How are you? Forever Retro. Hello. How are you, Mark? Well, make up. Hello there. Hellos. Hello. Oh, there's a lot of hellos. Can we start putting everyone's names in one comment?
Yeah.
I'll just follow everyone. Got to go. Take care, Robert. Look after yourself.
Right.
Dave had a smaller version of that one, Andy.
Yeah. At least two other smaller versions of it, at least. Yeah.
See, oh, God, we've done over 2 hours. It's 2 hours and 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Time are we on? I've got no clock on my screen.
Quarter past 10.
Quarter past 10.
Give or take.
I don't want to keep you guys too long. We've all got work in the morning, haven't we?
We have. Unfortunately, the train
versus Predator is on Channel 5 in a bit, so I'm going to have to head off.
Oh, really?
It's always on somewhere. Yeah, the trains are dead tomorrow, so no work travel tomorrow.
All right, okay.
Northerns and Transpennine are on strike tomorrow, so a fairly heavy duty strike apparently. Yeah.
I never heard anything about that. Yeah, I never heard anything about that.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Have you got any videos coming up?
I have the second of my 3 Toy Store visitation videos in my Excelsior's Domain Goes West series.
Okay.
Is up tomorrow night at 8 p.m. for your viewing pleasure, and will be followed on the Monday by the Pickups collection. In which I pick up something I have never picked up before in terms of toy lines.
Oh, nice.
Ah, that's teasing us.
He says mysteriously, yes. That was one of the missions I set myself when I decided that I would go on a random sort of 10-hour sprint to the west, east
Something
to west.
you hadn't had before.
Something I hadn't had before. Yeah, was one of the things on my list. Aside from just going to places I hadn't been before, I thought I would try and get something that I just hadn't had before from a toy line. So I succeeded in that mission at Leek, which is what I'm doing next.
Have you got anything coming up, Rudy?
I want to film something on the weekend.
So
hopefully in about a week and a half I'll have something. But I've got some from a few weeks ago. What I've picked up over the last 6 months.
Okay.
Broke it down into 3 parts and tried to kind of make it a bit more structured, so you're not just seeing random toys all the time. You're going to see all the GI Joes that I picked up, all the or the Marvel Legends that I picked up. I went hard on Marvel Legends last year.
Right. Well, I definitely need to go back and watch that Manta Force video. Definitely.
Yeah, 'cause I've also looked at them in your store, but I've never committed. Cause I never had them growing up, so they don't have a particular thing for me. But I remember the adverts and stuff, you know.
See, I don't remember the adverts. Maybe I should do a YouTube trial.
Oh, yeah,
The adverts.
Really worth it. I found
See whether or not they match my imagination.
I did find a great channel the other day. Actually, I can't remember what it was called now, but they do like adverts of the 80s, you know, for stuff generally. But they also have toy. You know, there are some toy ones there, so it is fascinating because you'll see stuff like Supernaturals and things like that I never picked up, but you can see the ads for them. You know, so it's quite interesting.
I do need to ask Rudy something. The thumbnail that I managed to put together for this council, how old is that picture of you that I've used? Because I went from what appeared to be one of your recent videos, and obviously it's not a recent video, is it?
Yeah.
Is
that
it?
was my last video. I think that stripy t-shirt.
So where's the hair gone then?
Oh, it's under my cap.
Is that really?
Oh, right. It looks so much longer than that.
So, because I went to the beach today with my children, I just tied it all up.
Oh, right, there it is. There it is.
As if by magic.
As if by magic, Michael Bolton appears.
You just turned into somebody else.
Yeah.
Right, Rudy's had to leave now, everybody, but here we are with
Johnny.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
Marty Bello has made an appearance.
Marty Bello. Wow, that's a blast from the past. Jesus, I remember when he was big news.
For the wrong reasons.
Well. Oh, it looks like Victoria's had to go. Good night, Victoria.
Yeah, batteries died, yes.
Mostly use YouTube to watch music video for Tiffany's. That's now these days. Okay. That's random. You know, I pretty much started.
That is the video for you.
I pretty much started with YouTube, not having videos on there, but watching things on YouTube just for music videos.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I used to love weird videos, music videos, bright coloured pop things and whatnot.
Yeah, well, see, I never had MTV growing up, so the only time I saw those was when I was at a Tenpin bowling alley, and they used to put them on the screens that weren't doing anything else. So then I'd see them, and it was like, wow, this is really, really creative and cool. It's like, you know, but I never saw them. So yeah.
Likewise, I never had like satellite growing up. It wasn't until I became a student and we invested in like NTL, and then we had loads more channels. And then after I stopped being a student and I got a job, I was just like, I'm not paying for Sky TV. I'm just going to go back to terrestrial TV. So then I didn't have music channels again. So that's why I went onto YouTube to look at videos that I remembered or what was there, because there's just no access to kind of that on terrestrial TV, really, apart from on the weekend or late at night on a Saturday, Sunday morning.
No, very true. I keep getting Street Hawk by Tangerine Dream thrown at me like every single time on YouTube. It's like, I've watched it now, it's fine, you know.
And then I'm going to say like 2008, 2009, I started watching someone called Graham the Collector 75, because he was pretty much the only guy reviewing Transformers.
Oh, right, okay.
Back in the day, yes.
During the war.
Yeah. And then I learned about
the stories we're going to tell our grandkids.
Yeah. Tell our grandkids. Yeah, back in 2010, I was watching this guy on YouTube like all the time. He was so huge. I'm like, what?
Yeah. It was that big that Disney bought him.
If you wanted to know how to transform a toy, you'd go to that guy's channel.
Transform a toy. It's like,
yeah.
What you mean? You have
What's a toy?
A toy.
What's a toy? How's my Gundam collection coming along? It hasn't expanded much since I last saw you, actually. I did receive another cheap, nasty knockoff off Temu today, though. I don't know. It looks good. we'll see how it turns out when I build it. But so far, I've still only built the 3. But I've got a big delivery coming, I believe, next Tuesday at the shop, so I might end up nicking 1 or 2 of those. Who knows? When I were a lad.
Indeed.
Fair enough. Well, I feel like we've probably reached the end of it tonight. Is anyone else wants to add? Any?
No, I just like to dedicate this one to my uncle who passed.
Oh, I am sorry to hear that.
Yeah, that's last Friday. But he is at least in some way responsible for my love of things sci-fi. I still have some of his very old Asimov books in my collection, which I'm sure I pinched from him at some point along the line and ended up, sort of starting out on back in the day. So yeah.
What was his name?
Mark.
With a K?
With a K.
Okay.
Another one, yes. I know, it's obviously catching.
Well, there we go.
That's nice, thanks.
How's that? It's not much I could come up with this such a short notice, so that's about the best I can do. Bless him.
Thanks in the chat. Appreciate that. Yeah, he was watching Forbidden Planet. Was one of the last things he probably watched in the hospital. So yeah, he was very into his classic, sort of what we consider to be classic sci-fi. I remember him asking me if I'd seen Alien yet, and I was only about 15 or so at the time. So he had taste. He had good taste in sci-fi films. Yeah,
definitely.
Thanks all.
Oh well, no, I'm sorry to hear that. I know that it's been kind of expected for a little while now.
Yeah. It was. I mean, ironically, the thing that was the problem he was having wasn't what did for him. It was actually pneumonia that he acquired in the hospital. As is often the way with these things, it's just a sod, and he wasn't strong enough to fight it, unfortunately. So
pneumonia is the killer.
It's not an unusual tale, isn't that one? Is it?
No, sadly not. But it's just one of those things. Unfortunately, when you're otherwise impaired, it just tends to be what does for you in the end. Sadly, so yeah.
Well, everyone in the chat certainly feeling for you and him.
Yeah, thank you. As I said, that's very much appreciated. Thanks all.
I'll take that off now.
Ending on a bit of a downer. Apologies, but
no, not at all.
It's like celebrate the people that inspired what you collect or have had a big impact on.
Definitely.
So I have no idea. I get the impression that I may well be picking up whatever books and stuff he had left. So I could come back with all sorts at some point. Who knows? But I don't know if you actually I don't think he actually had any figures as such or anything like that. But I suspect books and DVDs and stuff there may well be some of. So
you might have some sweet science fiction books or like really brilliant books that you just wouldn't expect.
Very
all the old fighting fantasy stuff.
I've got one of them here.
Well, you never know. You might have a full collection of them.
Well, yeah.
Right. Well, I am sorry to hear that, Andy. There's not really much you can say about it, is it?
No, it comes to us all, and it was one of those situations where he probably never would have had sort of full capacity back, even if he had sort of recovered and not, So, in some respects, it's one of those strange sort of, not a happy ending, but it's perhaps one of the better endings he could have had in some respects. So, because he wouldn't be able to have an active life like he would have had before. So,
Right. Fair enough. Okay. What?
I've already seen it.
Yeah. Okay. Bit random, but okay.
We'll go with that.
Right. Well, thank you both for joining me on this anniversary episode, I suppose.
Aye, 1 year today. I know.
Oh, yeah. Well, this week at least, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I was thinking that, but logically, we've done about 26 episodes, so it must be about, double that up. You've got a year, haven't you? So,
I've not counted. I've not really paid attention to how many we've done.
if you look on the playlist, it'll give you a total, so you've got your playlist for it, so that'll tell you. Yeah, but
Yeah, of course. I never thought.
I had a feeling we were getting close. That was why I mentioned it, obviously, because I just thought, yeah, how many have we done now? You know, so yeah, it's good stuff.
Joe, pack it in now. I think he means Divergent.
I think he does. Yeah.
All right. Well,
I read that as Divergent, and now I've looked at it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Funny how you had to do that.
Either that, or he's telling us to get a wash.
Oh yeah, one of the two.
It could be either.
Really, kind of obscure 90s anime that no one's heard of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite possible.
Pleasure to hang out with you all this evening. I'm glad you've enjoyed, and I certainly have. I think we all have.
Indeed.
Right. Well, if there's nothing else to add, I'll bring it to an end. Yeah? No?
Yeah.
We're done?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
Fair enough. Well, no, you're welcome anytime, Rudy. You really are. Whenever you want to pop on, just let me know, and I'll. If you want to provide me with a better picture to stick in the thumbnails, you're quite welcome to.
I thought you'd get some long-haired guy on.
We missold.
I want one of those cool AI pictures that you that everyone else has.
Well,
believe it or not, that
Funny
is
you say
an
that.
AI picture.
Yeah, but those are really good.
Yeah,
that's what I look like.
I was surprised at how good that AI picture came out of yours, because whenever I put mine through, it looks like a total stranger. And it takes so many attempts to get something that looks like it even resembles myself. Same with Andy, same with Ed, same with Mark. Yours, literally, the second one came out, and I was like,
it made me look like 5 years younger.
Like him.
Makes me look like 40.
But I'll send you it over, and you'll see it is actually an AI image. Because the original, it's just a screenshot from YouTube, and the picture's quite fuzzy.
Yeah.
It was the best I could get, and then when I went through AI, it came out crystal clear, and I was like, "Oh, okay."
so that's what it did to it then, right? So it cleaned it up. Yeah.
Oh, look at that!
I know. He just turns up.
Oh my word! Hello, Mark. How are you?
He's just like to the Mark. He turns up at the last minute.
Yeah. We are all going now. If you want this. Joe, formulate your questions for the next council session. Right, we're going. I don't know what I'm going to end it with. We'll go with this one. Bye-bye, everyone.